back to the Crash Space. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's a Sunday evening. It is January 2026, January 25th, 2026. And hopefully you're doing well. We are back on a Sunday evening. Usually we do Sunday mornings. It might be evident. Maybe you can hear a bit about it in my voice, but I've been a bit under the weather these last couple days. I did not think the stream would happen. And so when it came to Sunday morning, when we usually stream, I decided I'd rather just sleep in and work on some health stuff. And so now it's Sunday evening. So I'm going to be very clear. Tonight is going to be the night that I'm going to be talking the most that I have this entire weekend, the last couple days. I've been largely resting my voice. My voice is not the good part of what's going on. So apologies if we're lower energy today, but I thought we are going to get through this. So hopefully we do. We got a lot of tea. We have a nice evening ahead of us. Hopefully y'all are well. Hey Joshua, how's it going? Hey bud, best chance content out there. Thank you. I had a question for you. After you use Face the Past to get your nemesis, when you get Shadows of the Past, does it surge? Does it get... Yeah, well, yes. No, sort of. Kind of? Let me check, actually. I'm not 100% sure. Firstly, thank you for the kind words. We're going to be operating a little slower today, so some patience. So Face the Past says... Hold on, let me move this really quickly. It says search and counter deck for your villain, your nemesis you put into play, you do all the great stuff. Now, Pursued by the Past, these are the cards that you don't often read all the text of because you're kind of pretty sure you know what it is. So you're talking about Shadows of the Past, not Pursued. So I think it probably will surge. Shadows of the Past. Shadow of the Past? Reveal your set-aside nemesis minion and put into play engage with you. Reveal your set-aside nemesis inside scheme. Shuffle the rest of your set-aside nemesis and counter set into the deck. If your nemesis minion does not enter the game. Yes, so this will surge. So you'll still go get your nemesis side scheme and shuffle in the other 3 cards into the deck, but because your nemesis was not set aside, this will truly surge. So functionally, you'll just be getting the side scheme and getting a couple encounter cards shuffled into the deck, but it will definitely surge. If your nemesis just does not interplay with this, it always surges. So yes. Pursued by the Past, I think works the exact same way. This one I always have to read because I almost never read the text on Pursued by the Past. So it says, if your nemesis is in play, it activates, otherwise flip this over. So if you're playing, what's it called? Standard 3. After you flip to the side, find your nemesis and reveal it. So if it's already in the deck, you can't do this, or if it's in the encounter deck or the discard pile, because it says to find and reveal. Oh no, find your nemesis and minion and reveal it. No, this will actually work. This one will work. Search to set aside for your nemesis scheme. Yeah, this will get your nemesis no matter where it is. This one won't surge, but Shadow will surge because you did not. This only searches the set aside area. Yeah, reveal your set aside nemesis. So it should work. How's it going? Hopefully that helps. I didn't even realize it was a Sunday today. Hope you're doing all right with the storm. Yeah, Tony, how's it going? Greetings from your Arctic base. I'm in Montreal. Montreal has been really, really cold for the last couple days, including today. It's not like really, really snowy, but in terms of like Celsius, it went down to -30, give or take, which is really quite cold. I think that's like -23 in Fahrenheit for those who use that. Parts of the city have lost power, and then that's really dangerous because if you don't have power, you don't have heating usually, and that's a very quickly a problem. We've been totally fine where we are. We thought we wouldn't be because our kind of block is like relatively old in terms of Montreal, and it always loses power. But we've been good, and we haven't really gone outside because it's just like way too cold. So -30 is an Australian. That's horrifying. Yo, Jake, how's it going? Yeah, -30. It's like -24 feels like -30, feels like -31, which that really matters because you're a human and you feel. But yeah, it's really, really, really quite cold. The other day I was coming home from work and the bus stopped and it just died because it's too cold. So then you have to leave the bus and walk home. And let me tell you, like walking home in -30 is not something people in Montreal are not used to. Like you're prepared for it. You're dressed for it. So it's like not the worst thing. But if you're not prepared for it, it will straight up kill you. It is very, very bad if you're not prepared for it. Hey, HFT, how's it going? Sorry to hear you're under the weather. Appreciate you pushing through to give us our Sunday dose of Crash Space. I'm like, I want to be very, very clear. I'm just so excited for Sundays. The idea that a Sunday will come and we won't have the time to like hang out and make some content like really hurts me. It's like feels really, really bad. I'm so excited to hang out. So this, yeah, I'll try my best to make this always make sense because I'm really always looking forward to it. On that note, something to celebrate. We just hit 1,000 subscribers today. Like 2-3 hours before the stream went up. I think we just hit that number. I'm not checking every day or every hour. I was checking every day for a while. But we hit 1,000 subscribers. So hey, thanks so much. If you're watching this and you're subscribed, thank you. We've been doing this channel for less than a year. We've put out 66 videos, including this one's probably 67. Not all of that was Marvel Champions, but we've kind of locked down here. So thank you so much. And it's been really exciting to see this channel grow. I do some other stuff on YouTube, and this is something I started last year, and just having a channel grow at the speed has been like very, very satisfying. And it's been one of my big reasons why Sundays are like so exciting. Um, for this, auspicious moment, I have nothing particularly planned. I imagine in the near future, particularly when my voice is better and everything is better, we'll do something special. If you have any ideas what something special is, I'd love to hear what you'd be interested in. My basic thought was like spend a really long stream and play through like an entire campaign playthrough of a certain campaign. I love playing campaign stuff, so I feel like that's a really easy way to show off what we do on the channel. But if you have any other better ideas, do let me know. And if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to hit me up, either an email, which you can do. It's linked here on YouTube, or you can just like put a message in YouTube comments. Congrats. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, started doing Marvel Champions content. I've been playing this game since 2022, the end of 2022, and only started making content and I think like March or April last year. So it's been really good. It's been really nice to watch something grow, and people are very kind, super appreciative, and it's really nice. It's just been really, really nice. So thank you so much. So today, what are we doing? We're playing one of my favorite heroes. This is Colossus. And I actually looked at my Colossus numbers, and my win rate kind of bad. Notably also Colossus, in terms of the numbers I had, the majority of games I played with Colossus were on standard. And I only had played like 3 or 4 games of Colossus on expert. And I think that shows you a fair bit of when I started playing Colossus, because when I got into this game, I almost entirely played on standard. And when I was getting into this game, I was catching up on the back catalog. And then the first product that I bought just when it came out was this. In fact, I don't think I bought this. This was a Christmas gift that year from my partner. And so I was really getting into the game, and I played a whole lot of Colossus, but I played a lot of standard Colossus because I was newer to the game and figuring stuff out. I like Colossus. I like Colossus a heck of a lot, but I just haven't touched him in a long time. I imagine he's matured really, really well. A lot of the new protection cards are really good. Since then, we've got things like Taunt, which I don't think came in this pack. No, Taunt is incredible. We have some gameplay on this channel where we play Taunt Protection Colossus. The X-Men suite just got broader. Today we're playing Aggression, and there's also a lot of really interesting aggression things you can do in Colossus. Jumping down, ready for a fight is so good in Colossus as well. He's one of the protection characters that really wants to go into Alter Ego as much as he can, especially because he has 4 hand sides. It's just been very, very good for Colossus. And so we're going to go back and play him. Now, I am aware that we're a bit of a comedy channel in terms of like just playing protection decks. So I went out of the way to make sure we're doing something different. And so we're going to be playing Aggression Colossus. I've only tried this deck twice so far, so it's a bit of a question mark, but it's definitely an interesting brew, which is something we're always trying to bring you. As much as it's not entirely my brew, it's something I kind of stumbled across, something I didn't know about. So let's talk about this deck real quick. Hey Nolan, good evening. Forgot it was Sunday. Glad you can make it. We said we'd be streaming Sunday mornings, but I've been a bit under the weather. Maybe you can tell from my voice. So I don't know how long the stream is going to be. At some point I might have to tap out, but glad you can make it. All right, let's talk about this deck. Actually, this deck is based off of something I found. And this is not a deck list I knew, because at the time, hold on one second. Where are we at? At the time, I wasn't playing this game when this deck got published. This is called Full Metal Alchemist, and it's linked in the description. This is a deck by Journeyman that was posted in the end of 2022, 3 years ago. And it's a protection deck that works around the card Hulk. Hulk is like such a cool card from the core set. Hulk can't thwart, literally cannot thwart, but attacks for 3, has 5 health, which is kind of absurd for a 2-cost ally. But then whenever you use Hulk to attack, you have to discard the top of your deck. And based off the icons, good things can happen, but also bad things can happen. In fact, discarding Hulk is bad. Dealing 1 damage to every character includes you and all your other allies, as much as it is a villain and all minions, but it's like not very something you can control. For Hulk coming out of the core set, I don't think we've seen that many allies that are as interesting as Hulk and like kind of encourage you to deck build entirely around. And what Journeyman figured out, which I figured out and then found Journeyman's list and then continued to figure out, is that Colossus has a lot of physical resources. This deck has, I think it's only about 9 to 8 non-physical resource cards. Technically it's about 11 if you don't include Hulk. But a lot of these cards you're going to install their upgrades, so they kind of get out of rotation. So things like Iron Will, I think, has a mental energy on it. The other one, Titanium Muscles, does have a physical. Organic Steels have energies. Those will come and go because you do use them up. They have uses. But the idea is that you can use Hulk pretty consistently in a deck that is almost all the cards that have been added to it are physical icons. And that's really cool because that means Hulk attacks for 5, let alone it's 3 and then 2, which is better because split damage is means you're going to be wasting damage less often. And then everything else is built around physical resources, and it's just really cool and really smooth. I was first building a Colossus aggression deck, and then I kind of saw some of the overlaps. Specifically, I'll show you my list, which is a bit different, because the one thing I wanted to explore in this Colossus deck was this new card, Savage Strike. Hold on, I can pull it up here too. So Savage Strike came out in Tigra, and it says when you make a basic attack, you get +6 for this attack, and this attack gets piercing. That's an okay effect. The cool thing is we can give this overkill, and specifically we have a way, if I'm not mistaken. It's called what is it called? It's not Steel Fist. Hold on, now I've lost my mouse. It's the 0 cost card. It is Made of Rage. So Made of Rage says when you make a basic attack, give that attack +6 attack if you discard a toughness and overkill. Which means if you do a Savage Strike Made of Rage basic attack, you're usually attacking for like, what is it? 15 with overkill piercing. And that is something we can do somewhat consistently. And that was the angle I wanted to explore. Then I started or continued to build into this deck. And then I was Googling or searching on Marvel CTB what other people have done with a similar list. And I came across the Alkafist deck and then realized a bunch of the things that I wanted to do kind of lined up with it anyways. And so this is a conglomeration of the old deck that Journeyman 2 put up and this deck. And I'll talk through the differences, but you can find the links to both of those lists below. This one has some newer cards. Mind you, that deck is 3 years old, but this core ideas of playing as many physicals and doing something cool with Hulk totally still stands. What I think is really interesting is the allies haven't changed. Like we haven't actually got that many allies that you can play with physical resources on it that you're excited to play. That part has not changed. Some of the event package changed. I think that's the biggest thing that changed, but let's just talk about this deck and I'll explain the decisions we've made. I use Hulk to block all the time. Yeah, if Hulk attacks a couple times and like, or sorry, even if you never attack with Hulk and you just block with Hulk, like that's not bad. He usually survives 2 attacks for like 2 costs. That's like really not awful in aggression, where sometimes like preserving your life is a bit difficult. All right, we'll do a rundown here. This is Colossus, comes in with 14 health. That's a really big breakpoint in this game because 14 health means you can play the 14 health in a higher package. And some of those have, turns out physical icons on it. 1-2-2 stat line's not amazing, but we can get this up to 2-3-2. And it says, oh, my voice is not going to make it through this. Colossus can have 1 additional tough status card. Also, whenever he flips up, you can choose. It's a response. It's optional, but you always will give him an additional tough status card. So whenever you flip up, you get a tough status. And that's one of the many big reasons why you always want to be flipping down and flipping up in Colossus, because every time you get a free tough, and free tough is really, really good. In Alter Ego, our ability, firstly, when we set up after we mulligan, we can grab an organic steel. It has to be from our deck, which means you actually can mulligan really poorly by discarding too many or drawing all of them in your hand. You're not functionally a 7-hand character, and you really want to be a 7-hand character on turn 1 because you have so many setup upgrades. But our aspiring artist response says, after you change to this form, you can shuffle a Colossus card from your discard pile into your deck. I love having reasons to jump down, and this is a huge one. Also, you might notice from Hero to Alter Ego, our hand size changes from 6 to 4. That's a massive difference. And even for being 4 hand size, I think Colossus is fantastic. I love it when the low hand size characters are actually very interesting, and he's definitely one. And you'll see the kind of cards that will shuffle back with the Alter Ego ability. One of them is really important because it's a sort of like soft confuse card that we can jump down to Alter Ego with and not taking any risks. Now, this is the card that we always will start with 1 in our hand. It's Organic Steel. It does have an energy icon. Again, we have about 10 cards with non-physicals on them we want to keep track of. And this superpower says after a tough status is discarded, you can use one of the uses to regain a tough status. This is awesome. It means that your first flip up, as long as you have an Organic Steel, you can block 2 attacks because your toughness gets lost. You get another toughness, and that's phenomenal. One thing that I think I learned from the early testing games is I didn't value things like chump blocking or stunning in Colossus because you can always just take the hit. You don't mind taking the hit. But what I found out the more that I played is actually you want to preserve your toughness. Like starting your turn with no toughness is really bad because as you'll see, a whole bunch of your kit requires toughness as a cost, an additive cost to some of your event cards. And if you don't have a toughness, a lot of your cards don't do that much. So having toughness is good, but you actually do want to preserve toughness. So just keep in mind, sometimes you won't fire this, sometimes you will fire this, but also sometimes you do want to block with allies, even if you have a toughness. You could defend for 2 sometimes and it preserves your toughness as long as you take no damage, but we probably won't do that. And these are where the cards get amazing. It's really good to get this card on the table because it takes a mental out of your deck. Not only do you get +1 thwart, which brings you to 2 thwart, which is where you really want to be playing solo because we don't have any other thwart cards in our deck. It says hero response after a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, draw a card. This means functionally you become a 5-hand hero as soon as you can find this because every time you get attacked, you lose a tough, you draw a card. Let alone if you play an event that takes a toughness off as a cost, you draw a card, and this easily can make you to a 6-hand size hero. The more that you can have cards that use toughnesses and gain the toughnesses back. The other really important setup is Titanium Muscles. I think this one's less important, but it's still very good. It's another superpower that costs 1, and it says exhaust this to generate a physical for each toughness on Colossus. Another big reason why preserving toughness is good and why like stun is actually kind of useful, because this becomes a 2 resource generator when you have 2 toughnesses on you, which is something Colossus can uniquely do. So toughness is good. We have 3 copies of Steel Fist. Notice how almost all these cards now have physical resources. This card is actually now technically errated, and it's an important errata. So the way this is written right now, it says deal 5 damage to an enemy. You may discard a tough status card from your hero. Then there's a cost arrow, because so saying everything that precedes the arrow is a cost. As an effect, if you pay that cost, you can stun and confuse that enemy. This is really goofy templating, and this technically means a lot of weird stuff. If you are stunned, in theory, when you play Steel Fist, whenever you're stunned, you pay the cost of the attack event, and then it cancels the effect of the attack event, which means the way this is templated, you could pay 2 costs, you could deal 5 damage, you can discard a tough status, and it will just remove a stun. So it does actually beat stun. It's really, really weird. So just to show you, there is an errata in the 1.7. This has been around since like 1.5. It says that basically the arrow shouldn't be here. It's just a hero attack action, deal 5 damage. You can remove a toughness to get the effect. So this no longer interacts with stun or confuse in a weird way. They fixed this a long time ago, but this card does work differently. This card's really, really good. It's very, very good. A very good reason to get rid of your toughness, let alone draws a card on Iron Will. But stun and confuse means you won't get attacked again, so you can preserve your toughness, which you want to do, let alone now you can safely jump down. And we love jumping down. Hey Garrett, I love seeing you playing Colossus, one of my favorite heroes and champions. He is easily the first hero that I really fell in love with in this game. I haven't played him in such a long time though, because there's been so much other content, but I have just such a soft spot for Colossus. I think he's just such a fun character. I'm glad you think the same. Haven't played Colossus in a while. I didn't realize Iron Will didn't exhaust. Oh yeah, it doesn't exhaust. It's really good. It just keeps going. Again, we had gameplay on this channel where we played Protection with Taunt. And the fact that every time you play a Taunt and you get attacked and you lose your toughness, you draw 4 cards. Like, it's absurd. It's really, really good. That deck drew so many cards. We're doing a different thing today. Now, Made of Rage. This really works well because we're playing Savage Strike. 0 cost, superpower trait. The superpower won't matter on this. When you make a basic attack, you can discard a tough status to get 6 damage plus 6 damage on your already 2 to 3 attack and gain overkill. Of course, this deck is running Savage Strike. That's the idea why I wanted to play Protection Colossus. So altogether, we get plus 12 attack with overkill and piercing, which is pretty absurd. As much as Made of Rage is a bit conditional, it's not the best payoff. Technically, a card for 6 damage is really good, as much as the toughness is an additional cost. Sometimes it draws a card, but a 0 cost card attached to your basic that does 6 is obviously unheard of, let alone with overkill. So very, very good. Now, this card is also fascinating. 0 cost superpower. It's a shame. You want your superpowers, or it's like really interesting because his like hand size is really small and he has all these 0 cost cards. So like in theory, you would want to play Deft Focus, and you still do. You'd want to consider playing X Chain, but you actually don't play X Chain because it only has 1 target in the deck because most of our events cost 0. Regardless, Bulletproof Protector. Either when you play this, you have to discard a tough status. Sometimes that draws a card, usually it does. Then either give your hero 2 tough status cards or ready your hero. We'll usually do the former unless this card's really, really extra. Because if we play this with Iron Will, we remove a tough, draw a card, and then give 2 toughs. So it's functionally a free tough that draws a card. That's obviously very, very good. We have 2 of these. It's a really interesting card that's worth playing around. It also technically can fire a bunch of your other stuff. Like it can fire your organic steel to give you a tough to ready yourself. A lot of weird things can happen there. We have Piotr Studio, Piotr. This card's actually great. I didn't like this when I was a newer player, and I think I really misevaluated it. As an alter ego action, you can exhaust this to rip cards from the top of your deck until you discard a Colossus card and you add that card to your hand. I haven't tried playing this with like White Fox and that sort of package of discard synergy. I don't think it's worth it because this is the only card that allows you to do it. Maybe it's worth it because I do think you can stay in alter ego a fair bit, probably a bit more if you play Protection. But if you play White Fox and Digging Deep, I think it's something that's worth looking into, but this doesn't seem like the sort of deck that discards as much as some other decks can consistently do. Now, the big thing with Piotr Studio is actually when you go to Alter Ego, there's this card that's so important. And this is a way to consistently get this card safely and then pass your turn, or get your deck to a smaller point where you can get this card consistently. And this is like the original Ready for a Fight, which is, I think, probably a lot of people's favorite part about Colossus. It was one of the few decks that could jump down without having a confused reliability problem when you're playing solo. Because this card says when the villain would activate, that technically is errated. I don't know why that matters. You can change the hero form. And because we're doing this in Alter Ego, we can end our turn in Alter Ego, get this in our hand, either by getting in Piotr's Studio, grabbing it, then passing our turn, or shuffling it back into our deck when our deck is small, using our jump down Alter Ego ability, and then just hoping naturally you draw it. Because we have 2 copies, you actually can have some pretty weird hopes that you'll get this. Like if the deck is like 10 cards and there's 2 of them left because you shuffled one back, you're likely to draw one. You can fail and that could cost you the scenario. But this card is just so absurdly good because it allows you to be an Alter Ego, which means you get more cards. And very importantly, when you jump up, you get a toughness, which is worth so much for the deck. This card is so important. And those are our cards. Besides, mind you, our ally, which we'll show in a second. You might notice almost all of these cards are physicals. The ones that aren't are Made of Rage, which we have to track where they are. The Organic Steels, which they do come and go, it's worth tracking. But Iron Will, you put on the table, it'll stay on the table. And Piotr's Studio, you put on the table, it'll stay on the table, making our deck more consistent at only delivering physicals, which really matters because our boy here, Hulk. This Hulk. So we talked a bit about this already. Can't thwart, legally cannot thwart, not a lot of cards like that. 2-cost ally with 5 health, attacks for 3 is already really good. But the problem is you have this forced response that says after Hulk attacks, you have to rip the top card off your deck. Again, we really shouldn't be playing Digging Deep or White Fox because of this reason. And based off the card that you discard, you can do the thing that you want to do, or you have to do, excuse me. Either you deal 2 damage to an enemy, that'll be happening about 80 to 90% of the time, and then all the other ones are kind of really bad. Discarding an energy sucks because we have to deal 1 damage to each character, which will take a toughness off of us. Sometimes if we really need to draw a card, maybe that's something we want to do. And then discard Hulk is obviously bad. And then all of the above is also really quite bad. I think discarding Hulk is like super unlikely. We have only like 1 mental in the whole deck, or technically 2 because we have Genius. I think there's an argument that you don't have to play Genius and Energy, but I think they're very much worth it because we have so many 2-cost upgrades we want to install very quickly. But Hulk in theory should be doing 2 for 5 consistently enough. Some risks, and again, we're playing for fun, so we love to take some risks, but usually Hulk will be 5 attack 5 times before he's defeated, or 4 times, and you can block with him, which is just an absurd amount of value as long as Hulk is consistent. I haven't checked, but Journeyman 2 has said that second to Hulk himself, the Hulk hero, Colossus is the second kit that has this, or the kit that has the second most amount of physicals, which allows us to do a deck like this. And so I've made sure all the other cards we've added are also physical as much as I've updated this sort of idea. I tried a Colossus deck. How's it going, 9 down? With Ready for Fight, because I hadn't played much before, and oh my gosh, I was not really ready for how bad he is against a minion-heavy villain like Green Goblin and Mutagen Formula. Oh yeah, I think it could be a problem. I think you can really easily add a couple cards in protection to help you deal with minions. You might want to have to add, like, I don't know, maybe you add the Excelsior and do like riposte and stuff like that. But I do think mid-range minions are a problem for Colossus. Luckily for us, we have a couple overkill cards. We have some extra damage cards, so you can kind of make it make sense. But yeah, he has no good cards that will deal with minions besides his 2 copies of +6 attack overkill, which are really quite nice for that. Air cover. I'm not sure, Nolan, why air cover. I don't think we have good targets for air cover. Air cover is an energy, which kind of stinks. The only tactic we can really get with air cover is marked, or whatever it's called, the one that gives overkill, which you could do. This does have a physical on it, but I think there's better ways to give ourselves overkill consistently. But I do think one of the best things with Savage Strike is giving yourself overkill consistently, and I'll show you how we've done that. We've done it a different way. Wasteland, thank you. Congrats on hitting 1,000. Thank you. That just happened earlier this afternoon, which is awesome. So thanks so much. And the minions kept pinging off my tufts, so it was rough. Yeah, the minions taking off your tufts is the worst part because you do want to conserve them. Now we're playing some allies. All the allies we're playing are physicals. What's really weird is since this deck was posted in 2022 to now, there's not a lot of allies that you want to add to this deck that have physicals on them. I'm not sure why that is, but Mockingbird doesn't seem amazing. She's a very good card in general, one of the best cards in the game in general, and giving the stun actually means that the villain will activate less so we can preserve her toughnesses. She can also thwart for 2 and chump block, which is okay as much as she's a bit expensive. Machine Man is really good because Machine Man comes in for 2, which is nice. Mind you, we have a small hand size, and then we can always spend extra resources making Machine Man thwart for more than Machine Man can thwart for. Very, very good card. A very nice smoothing card where you have ugly cards in hand you don't want to spend. These sinks are great. Spider-Man, this is Miles. I don't play a lot of Miles, and it's mostly because he doesn't have the Web Warrior trait, but I'm realizing this card's actually really good. I probably should play this more, especially in a protection deck or an aggression deck. This is a really nice way to add a bunch of thwarting to your deck, especially when you play solo, because the turn this Miles comes into play, you can give him +2 thwart, and then he thwarts for 3. And thwarting for 3 will largely clear a lot of side schemes. Our Thwart Stout eventually will be 2, which will help a lot. And we have a bunch of readies, so ways to ready ourselves. So we'll be thwarting more than what it looks like we will be thwarting. But Miles is great. And then we have Lockjaw, which like Dumpster Dog is kind of the best dog. We haven't played him on the channel in a while, but he has a physical and another nice way to spend extra resources if we do have them. We'll find out if we do. I want to shout out the original deck had some other cards that I'm not playing. I, in fact, was planning to go through them and somewhat the other cards we considered. But one of the cards that was considered is Marvel Boy, which is a very good card for cost. 2 cost allies are always really good. I was worried our deck didn't have a lot of thwarting, so I didn't want to put a 0 thwart card into our deck. Piercing is something we already have, but we technically would love more of. But Marvel Boy you could definitely consider. Finally, we have Shadowcat. She has a wild icon. That's going to be a problem when it shows up because it makes Hulk really upset in really interesting ways. But she's one of our best thwarting allies, so we want to make sure that we know where she is. Notably, when we jump down to Alter Ego, we can shuffle her back into our deck, which adds a lot of thwarting to the deck. But the wild icon is such a dang liability if Hulk is around that maybe we'll consider not doing it. Eric, how's it going? How's I never remember the name of Disco Elysium, but I nailed it right now. Hopefully it's been good. Happy snowy evening. We're just cold here. We don't have the snow, so it'll be okay. Tough attack card from protection would be nice. The one who defeats them gives a tough. Yeah, the 3 cost 4 damage one. I never remember the name of it, but I play it somewhat consistently, especially in like Venom Goblin where you need a 3 cost attack. I was thinking air cover for marked if you have lots of minions. Yeah, that's one way of doing it. I don't know if I'm a big air cover for marked fan. I'll show you why, because we can give overkill in other ways that I think are a bit more consistent. So Savage Strike, this is what I wanted to play Colossus in Aggression for, because we can make our attack have plus 12 piercing overkill, which is nonsense. I think Savage Strike is only really good if you can give yourself overkill, and we actually have a couple ways in our deck to give ourselves overkill, and it has a physical icon, so why not? Now, I'm not playing 3 of them. I'm only playing 2. That's because this is a sometimes card, not an every time card. You could play 3 to really swing into it. I'm not sure if that's necessary. We'll find out in testing whether we want to play too many of these. But this is what I'm talking about. This card's good. This gives our attack plus 2 and overkill. That means we'll be attacking for 5 once we boost our attack stat. 5 with overkill means we should be able to toe-to-toe minions. And then when we add the Savage Strike and we add the other one that gives us plus 6 in piercing, this card is so good in combination with Savage Strike. This is why like Tigra having built-in overkill makes Savage Strike make some sense, but I'm convinced I don't want to play Savage Strike in any deck that cannot consistently get overkill. And luckily everyone can play Hand Cannon, let alone it has a physical icon on it. So why the heck not? This is different from the deck that was posted. I think Hand Cannon and Savage Strike makes a lot of sense. We're only playing 1 copy. This is a card I haven't played in a long time. I can't wait to get through this deck section because I need to rest my voice. It's Dropkick. 4 damage. And if you only played physicals, which should be no problem for our deck, we also draw a card, which makes this a 2 cost card, which we like. It stuns an enemy. Ideally, we're not doing this to a minion. We want to stun the villain, and our deck has a fair bit of stun and confuse. But again, stun means we preserve our toughness. Toughness is a useful resource. So I originally thought stun wasn't really important for a deck that can just be bulletproof, but it turns out, yeah, preserving your bulletproof trait is actually kind of valuable. I'm running 3 copies of this, which might be just a bit too much. We'll find out. Because the other slot I think you can play is Surprise Attack. Our deck can and will be jumping up and down a fair bit, which means Surprise Attack, not only does it have a physical, not only does it demand a physical, this will either be 3 or, well, not demand, 4 damage if we have a physical. And this is a really nice way, again, to add into your deck to deal with minions. If you're jumping up and down, 1 for 4 knocks out a lot of minions, and that's a really good spot to be in. So we're going to jump down and hope. I think with only 2 in our deck, we can't really jump down and hope we get one of these. We probably should be playing 3. So it might be very like prudent, especially if you're in a minion scenario, to drop a drop kick for a 3rd surprise attack, just so you have more little cheap ways, as much as it is an unplayable card unless you're doing the jump up and jump down, which we should be doing a fair bit. I'm also playing Yarnbjorn. I haven't played a lot of this card. It's another way to help us deal with minions. It's a upgrade. It's a restricted weapon. And it says after we attack, spend 1 to do a physical. Spend a physical, sorry, to do 2 damage, which is fine. That also might help us chip down some minions, which is kind of cool. And again, has a physical. Our deck is all physical. Why the heck not? Hey, Timothy, glad to see a show today. Thought I'd miss it. Me too. I thought we'd all miss it. I'm under the weather. I've been kind of bad all weekend, but we're feeling good enough on a Sunday evening. We postponed about 8 hours. So here's to your tea, to your health, and staying warm. So Wasteland keeping the BAMPs separate and discard to make sure she knew what was where. Very cool to see. I have to thank you for videos on Nightcrawler. I played him so much better because of you, which is a big deal because of my favorite mutant. Love him with Excelsior. I am like heartbroken. We put up a cool, I'll say it, I think it was cool, Protection Nightcrawler video up on the channel recently with Excelsior in it, and we fired Excelsior like 0 times. We just drew it too late, and then one turn where we could have fired it was better not to, but it like kills me that the Excelsior 3-sword deck that we built fired Excelsior 0 times in the gameplay. That's just sometimes how it is, right? Like you record gameplay, you only have so much time to edit. You can't really grab another one. I thought the game was still good. It's just like I wanted to show off Excelsior. Instead, we ended up showing off Float Like Water, which is fine because I've never played that card. I love the evening stream, being on the West Coast and all. Oh yeah, hey, that's not too bad, huh? It has been good. Lots of snow here. Yeah, stay safe out there. I don't know if you're snowed out for Monday or not. Hey, this is interesting. We're playing combat training, which means our attack can go up to 4. This is not a deck where I think we play aggressive conditioning because this card is too expensive. The difference between 2 and 3 is really substantial. The difference between Armored Vest going from 1 to defensive conditioning going to 2 is something most decks can swallow, but a lot of decks, let alone a 4-card hand size deck, cannot swallow a lot of 3-cost cards. We already have 14 health, so I don't want to pay 3 for 3 extra health, which probably doesn't matter. So this is one of the few scenarios where like the core set combat training is actually preferable, as much as there's a lot of aggression decks that would really want +3 health and get that card compression. Could you play both of them? Maybe actually, it might make sense because we have our deck has a lot of readies. Boosting our raw stats is actually super valuable. But yeah, just this is kind of weird because I saw this is one of the new cards we easily could have updated, but I don't think it was worth updating. So we're going to play the older one. I love this card so much. We haven't had it in a while. Any of these cards that you can only play if you have 14 or more hit points. There's a whole set of these. I think there's like 2. Maybe there's only 2 cards. Not only do these all have physical icons, not only we're playing a full play set, but this just says ready your hero, which we love to do because if we're ready, we can do whatever we want, let alone thwart for 2. Notably, also having cards that are not part of your kit that are superpower traded are super valuable because we're playing ways to reduce the cost of superpowers. So the more superpowers you play, the better those cards are. This card's amazing. It is worth shouting out that I'm not playing the one that gives you steady. You could if you want to, Unshakable. This is the other card that cares about 14 health. I'm not playing it. I think not only does it have a physical, which is not super important because it's an upgrade. You could play this in certain scenarios where you're really worried about stun or confuse. We're like medium worried. It's not the worst thing, so I'm not putting a slot on it. Depth Focus, really good. We talked about superpowers. Has an energy icon. Ooh, yucky. But we get this on the table and it stays on the table. Similarly, Helicarrier has a physical, can generate a physical for things that care about that in some way, but not actually, but in some ways. And then we have Martial Prowess, which is also physical to generate physicals. We have a lot of attack events. We have enough attack events to want to play this. And then we have the X-Jet, which also is kind of gross because it doesn't have a physical on it, but it can generate a physical for things like Yarnbjorn. It's good. It's a resource, not an action. And finally, not only do we have 2 physicals on strength, but we have Energy and Genius, which are cursed because they don't have physicals on them. But that's the best we got. And I don't know if we're going to do a great job tracking, but our deck technically only has 11 cards, I believe, that don't have physicals. One of them is Hulk. And then 3 of them are cards that are permanent. So usually we should only have like 6 cards that we can kind of keep our head on to understand how much of a liability firing Hulk is. Probably we should just not worry about it and always fire Hulk because it'll be fun. And if Hulk blows up, like, oh no, the Hulk blew up. Like, it's who cares? But that's the deck. I've only played 2 test games so far, and it's actually been quite fun. Shout out again to Journeyman 2. I post both the lists below. The version that I'm playing has slightly newer cards, but not a huge difference. But the biggest thing is we're trying out Savage Strike with Overkill, which in this scenario, there's not that many minions, but maybe it'll be good. Yo, Joel Autoplay just put me in the stream. Well, welcome, YouTube. Thank you for the algorithm. How you doing? Hey, Supernut, what's up? I'm doing okay. A bit under the weather this last couple days, but we're getting through this. You got to use Limitless Stam when you finally play SPDR. She's one of my absolute faves, and I can't wait to see you play her. Yeah, honestly, like, so this is the issue, is that there's a whole bunch of heroes that I super am excited to play on the channel. In fact, the next 2 I want to play are SPDR and Shadowcat. SPDR because she's been on the backlog forever, and Shadowcat because I got a comment from someone saying, why don't you like Shadowcat? You'll love Shadowcat on the last stream where we played Ghost Spider. And then I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. And then I played Shadowcat. I'm like, yeah, this is the coolest thing they've ever made. The issue is they're all protection decks, and I just can't keep playing protection decks week after week after week. So we usually have to pace them out. So I have no doubt we'll see SPDR and hopefully Shadowcat, or not Shadowcat. Yeah, Shadowcat sometime in the near future. I'd hope for repurpose protection, but I'd be happy just to see play her and her take on her. I have played SPDR before, and I've really thought she was fantastic. I'll be honest, I think the first times I played her, I didn't realize that her suit was, or she was, what's it called? The thing you can exhaust to generate a resource, which a lot of people probably miss. So I'm really excited to try her out again because I'm going to be better at playing her. And then Shadowcat's just really interesting. The way that Powerful Punch works is like not super intuitive, but like really, really generous. Interface, that's a term, yeah. I didn't realize that she was an interface for my first couple games. Shadowcat is great in aggression. Also, one of the best users for surprise attack. Surprise attack is the one with the attachment, right? Why would that be? Oh, surprise attack. Yeah, that's really, really cool. Sorry, I thought the one where you attack +2 if they have attachment ready. I don't know what that one's called. That's probably called something similar. Yeah, the fact that she counts as a form change is not super intuitive. It makes sense for all the other ones, but I didn't realize the form change is really useful. And so she has a lot of weird interactions that like you can milk a value from. Like surprise attack, powerful punch is really cool, being both attack and defense traded, so you can like flicker in one phase. She has some really cool stuff she can do. Shadowcat's really neat. All right, we're gonna shuffle this a bit. Surprise move, that's it. I feel like I'm forgetting more and more names of cards, which like robs me of legitimacy of knowing the card pool. And not only does it scare me because of aging, but it scares me just in general. Some cards just have the same name. Can't do much about it. All right, we're playing a scenario I haven't played in a real long time. I've heard that this is some people's favorite scenario. To them, power to them. This is a cool scenario. We got 2 villains, and I have looked at it. I actually redid a whole bunch of the technology behind the stream. You're going to be able to appreciate none of it today because it's not very useful in this scenario because it works differently. But the other day I couldn't find the buttons to do this. I just found them. They were right there the whole time. We can track 2 different health pools. That's right. You wait 2 years, 3,000 subscribers. We're going to be having the technology to do whatever those 4 people, the Wrecking Crew. Yeah, the Wrecking Crew. We're coming for you. I finished my first Arkham Horror game today, unboxed it during the snow-in. Hurt my brain, but I won. Definitely made rules. I think a tutorial on the Metropole Grid if you want to watch an Arkham Horror playthrough. I think it's really easy to get make mistakes in that game. Some mistakes can be really impactful, both for like making things more difficult and more easy. I would highly recommend just watching a playthrough online if someone playing through it, and then you'll be like, wait, what is that? This is how that works? And then you'll have an epiphany moment. The game has a more complex rules engine than Marvel Champions by a mile, but yeah, it's really, really good. Glad you enjoyed it. Winning is also like arbitrary. What you want to do is tell a story. Sometimes losing is winning. So just keep that in mind. SPR is sick with Sidekick deck because you have like Venom. Finally got around to playing her out of protection, and Lady Venom Sidekick was so badass. Isn't Lady Venom just like a stat stick? Doesn't she just have like unlimited health? Or does her, like one part of Venom scales with the amount of interfaces you spend on her? I don't know if it's her health or her stats. I think it's her health. I want to keep going on about being near to Arkham Horror, but I don't want to keep clogging up chat. I have to finish watching your core box Arkham playthrough. Oh yeah, that's the one. If you've seen it, my partner and I did it. My partner didn't remember it, and I got some comments about it the other day, and she's like, "Wait, we did that?" I'm like, "Yeah, it was really fun. It turned out really good." All right, let's look at what we got here. Under Siege 1AQ scheme. So this is, what's it called? This is called tower defense. It's a really interesting scenario. Technically, we're protecting this thing in the middle. It's called the Avengers Tower. How did we get here? I don't know. It's going to be fun regardless. It has about 18 health, I think. The first side is 9 health. If it gets destroyed, there are consequences when it comes to campaign mode. I don't think we actually care. And then 9 more health on the other side. Just to show you what we're working with, tower defense, if this works. So the scenario set has some cards for both Proxima and Corvus Glaive, who are 2 of our villains. There's only 4 minions. I think they're all the same. And then Armies of Titan adds a whole bunch of small minions. Some of them have guard when defeated, give the villain tough status card, so piercing can be useful, but it's relatively straightforward. We're going to have this whole mechanic where this bounces back and forth. It's kind of the same as like having the active player token or whatever you use to determine who's the villain in a multi-villain scenario. They just used a card for this, which is unique technology. Not super necessary. You can do this with whatever you want. So we're playing stock standard, we're playing on expert, and we're playing standard, not standard 3. Our nemesis is messed up. Juggernaut's so bad. I don't know what happens if we draw shadows on turn 1. I think we scoop. Reveal stage 2A. That's the armies of Thanos. And if there were 2 main schemes and 2 villains in play. Cool. So let's look at the armies of Thanos. It says, when revealed, put the Avengers Tower environment into play. That's this thing in the middle. I'll show you it in a second. Put the focus defense, that's this card, into play attached at this stage. Each player searches the encounter deck for a Black Order Besieger. That's here. Puts into play. This is a very unique card. We haven't seen anything in the game like this. And then shuffle an encounter deck. I've already done that. We'll do it again for the camera. I watched a playthrough for a different campaign because I didn't want to spoil myself. I definitely missed the Act 1 action and wasted 2 turns doing nothing Act 3. Is your video on your other channel? Yeah, if you go on Metropole Grid and search Arkham Horror, there's only 2 videos. The one that's clearly a tutorial is the tutorial. The other one is an April Fool's joke where I show you how to do a Kamani breakdown and forget Kamani's text. It was pretty bad. So tough to watch Arkham Carnage when you're new because it's so story-based. Yeah, you're right about that. But I would rewatch, like, play through the core set and then just watch a tutorial of the core set of like the core set campaign, because it's like not, it doesn't have narrative beats and a lot of decision paths the way that some later campaigns did. You play Arkham? Yeah, I've been playing Arkham since day one. I have everything. I usually play once a week, usually twice a week. I've been playing Arkham for forever. I've been playing with the same group since like 2016. Really fond of the guys. We're not playing tomorrow. We usually play Mondays. Okay, let's look at these things. Avengers Tower. So from tower defense, this has two sides. So after damage is placed here, if there's at least 9 damage, remove it and flip it. So I'm going to put the damage on it and remove damage. That's how we do things on this channel. Uniqueness rule does not apply. I think that's really cute text. Also focus defense, just so you can see this, it doesn't really matter. Just whoever it's attached to is going to be the active villain for the sake of encounter cards. We're still allowed to attack whoever we want. Each villain will also have their own side scheme that has different problems when they each advance. So we have to keep them both down, and they'll both be getting 1 per turn or whatever acceleration tells us to do. After the player phase ends, then you move this. So the timing is a bit different, which means technically the first villain to activate against us will be Proxima, because it's going to start here. We're going to end our player phase. It's going to go over there. So Proxima will be swinging at us first. We can flip armies of Thanos. All right. We have the armies of Thanos. Comes in with 1 threat, 1 acceleration. This is Corvus Glaive's scheme. It says when this stage would be completed, you remove all threat counters from this and then deal each player 1 face down encounter card. This one doesn't matter. You can clear this one, you will clear this one, but if you want to just jump down to your sides, if you want to just jump down to Alter Ego, you can let this thing clear. This one's really quite bad because you can lose the game if this one fires. This one's just an encounter card. Like, congratulations, you're playing on Heroic for 1 turn. It's not that big of a deal. This side scheme is like hilariously soft. So that's nice to have that, as much as that only matters every 2 turns if he schemes, so we have to kind of time our stuff. Now, the back of Under Siege says, when this one completes, mind you, they only have 6 threshold, which is pretty small for solo. Remove all threat, then deal 6 damage to the Avengers Tower. Avengers Tower, mind you, has technically 18 health, but the way that damage is assigned, this could take 6 damage, then it could take another 6 damage, but then it would flip with 9 health left over. So technically loses extra damage if you do it in weird increments. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, this is the bad one, because if this advances, if the tower goes down, we do lose the game. It is one of our alternate lose conditions. If the tower gets flipped and then takes 9 more damage, we lose. Now, I made a big deal, maybe too big of a deal about this card, but this card's really unique because it's a 3 health, 1 scheme, 2 attack, but it has a forced response after Black Order Besieger engages you. I'm assuming they did this for rules reasons, because this technically happens now before we draw our mulligan. So we have to decide to either deal 1 damage to the tower or to deal 2 damage to us. When you're playing in campaign mode, I think you need to be a bit more protective of the tower, because there are narrative consequences for the tower being defeated, or at least half defeated. We're not in narrative mode, so I could just do 1 damage to the tower. I'm just going to take 2 damage to our face because we have 14 health. So we'll just take 2 damage now and say that's whatever. The reason why this is interesting is most cards have when revealed text. I don't think there's any other minion in the game that says forced response after it engages you. That's just like such a weird window. Almost everything is a when revealed or sometimes when put into play, but this is strange. After it engages you, forced response. So technically, if you like move this to somebody else playing like a Thor card or whatever, this would fire again. Very, very weird card. Let's look at our villains. I'm gonna catch up on chat in a second. Oh, hold on. That's not right. Villain name Corvus Glaive. Oh, this won't work, will it? No. What stage? 2? Oh, it works. So on the left side, we have Corvus Glaive. 2 scheme, 2 attack. Pretty busy art there. 11 health, but he cannot be defeated until we reduce both of their healths down to 0. After Corvus Glaive makes an undefended attack, you have to discard the top card on the counter deck and deal 1 damage to the Avengers Tower for each boost icon on that card. That's actually really bad, because we don't want to be defending. We want to be just taking it to our toughness. So this text is actually going to be kind of cursed. It's going to be a very big pain point for us. So maybe we're always going to be attacked by Proxima, and we're going to always let Corvus scheme. That's an option, because he does not interact well with us. We're good at taking a lot of damage. We just want to do it at exhausting. Otherwise, if we don't exhaust, it's an undefended attack, and that's bad. Now, on the other side, we have Proxima. Proxima has slightly more health. She has 1 scheme, 3 attack, so less, middle of the road. However, when she attacks, you can either choose to deal 1 damage to the tower, which is not a huge cost, or she gets +2 for the attack. She can get piercing. If she gets piercing, we have to so quickly get rid of the piercing, but we can let her attack us for 5 if we have toughness, unless there's piercing on a boost card, which if that happens, I'll be surprised as much as you will. And that's the setup. We can just mulligan when we should be off. Let me just catch up on chat. Core stuff I'm safe to watch, but anything else would be kind of spoilery. Yeah, I would not recommend watching anything else that's not the core set until you've played it yourself. This game is really fun, and first playthroughs are usually amazing. So yeah, just watch stuff you've seen. If you just want to watch core set playthroughs, that's how you can learn the rules, but I would kind of keep it there. I've been playing online where I can for about a month. Drowning City has been a blast, left Carcosa. Yeah, I haven't been a big fan of Drowned City. I actually think it's probably bottom 3 for me, which is disappointing. But Carcosa is incredible. I'm currently in the middle of playing Return to Dunwich. I'm like a big fan of some of the older campaigns. Mind you, Forgotten Age is one of my favorite campaigns. Carcosa is one of my favorite campaigns. I'm a big fan of Innsmouth too, as much as it has some like pain points when it comes to leveling up your deck, but very cool. I'm gonna go in order. I got through core about a couple of months ago, so I'm doing Dunwich next, trying to play with cards that were released during the time. I want the full experience as much as I can. Yeah, enjoy. Dunwich is just worth knowing that Dunwich they put together Dunwich campaign before the game was released publicly, so they got no feedback. They didn't know how people would play the game. There are some rough points in Dunwich. In fact, there's a scenario where you can lose on turn 1 and it's not your fault. Technically, Return to Dunwich solves most of those issues and shows you what they've learned in the years until that. If you're not sure what Return to is, it's kind of like a DLC that adds alternate versions of scenarios and stuff like that. But Dunwich is like I think Dunwich has some like pretty low lows, but it also has some of the most memorable scenario designs of all time. Dunwich is not perfect, but very charming. I tried ordering core from Amazon. They sent me the board game instead of the LCG. I'm playing through the first 2 Dunwich scenarios right now. It's been fun. Oh, cool. Sorry. Well, I guess you own a board game now. Drown has been difficult. I want to play it again to make opposite choices, but I'm missing some of the difficulty. Which way did you go? Did you go east or west? There's no chance to get Return to Dunwich or Night of the Zealot, unfortunately. No, those have been out of print for a long time, which is really unfortunate. Some of those things have like rules changes that you can enact without requiring the physical cards. In fact, if you ever play Forgotten Age, there's a rules change about how the Explorer mechanic works, which I won't explain more than that. But if you can't find Return to Forgotten Age on your second playthrough, just play with the new Explorer rules because I think they're much better. I think they're happy with the change. East followed Ruby. I think East is what I've done more often than not. I think East I think both ways have really weird power spikes. Like difficulty spikes going East or West are kind of nonsense. I did House Always Wins first. It was very cool. Yeah, House is cool. I like House second though. I think House is much more fun than the other way. Said that in case I was wrong about direction. No, that's right. I think East is Ruby. All right, so our mulligan here is really important. Again, with our alter ego ability, we can grab an organic steel from our deck. If we draw both of them, that's awful because we lose a hand size. The biggest thing we need to find is our upgrades that allow us to upgrade ourselves. We want to find Iron Will. We want to find the one that gives us +1 for every toughness we have. This is really important. Any doubles are also incredibly important because we're going to have a lot of 2-cost upgrades to install. Now, Steel Fist is not the worst. The problem with Stun or Confuse in this scenario is that there's 2 villains. So you can choose to attack one and Stun or Confuse it, but then the next turn, the Confuse won't be relevant if you jump down because the other character will be Stun or Confused. So we picked a scenario that's actually going to be a bit more interesting. This is not a card we'll necessarily keep. Setting up is so much more important. We want to get our resource generators as soon as possible because, again, we do functionally have a 4 hand size, which is not great. Combat training, again, this is probably in the maybe to no camp. I'd be surprised if we kept this. All right, that's another one. Armor Up. This is a bummer. You never want to draw this in your opening. You want to draw this on turn 3 when you jump down. We can always shuffle it back in with our alter ego. We drew 1 organic steel. That's really bad. The second one is now really tense. We usually don't keep it as much as 2 organic steel is something we can keep, but now we found none of our resource generators, none of our big upgrades. We're probably going to have to full mulligan this. Yeah, we're going to full mulligan this. Last card is Dropkick, which again, in this scenario, it's not that important. So we have to make sure we don't draw an organic steel here. Otherwise we lose a hand size. Limitless, not great. So far, pretty bad mulligan. Not gonna pretend it's good. Made a Rage, another card that we won't use on turn 1 because our toughness is better than 6 damage. Bulletproof, that's actually kind of good, especially if we get something that cares about this because this is free to play, gives us another toughness. Strength is good. It's a strength. It's X-Men strength. Surprise attack. I mean, we're not happy about this. This has not been good. So this last card needs to be great. It's not good. It's really not good. This is a bad mulligan. We're in for a ride. At least we didn't draw our last organic steel, so we'll search our deck for an organic steel. So we needed to draw an Iron Will. We needed to draw what was coming up. Nothing good, but yeah, not great. So pretty rough start. We might actually throw a couple of these surprise attacks. It knocks out the Black Order Besieger, no matter what we spend on it. So I think that's probably gonna be fine. We also can just recover 2 here instead of like thwarting for 2, thwarting for 1. that's also probably a fine start because we're going to be able to surprise attack out the besiegers with our surprise attacks. So that's probably fun. Personally, I love when you draw really bad hands because it shows me how to play even more. I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll see if we get out of this. Maybe we'll just lose. I don't know. I love, like, it brings up a cool point because when you draw like the best hand possible, it's like, you know, you don't have to think that much. It just plays itself. But then now here you have to, like, you know, pull out of a bad spot. You really have to play perfectly. So hopefully we'll play perfectly. Okay, so let's talk about this. Strength for organic steel, no problem, right? We always wanted these one on the table. We'll have one on the table. Bulletproof, we can just play. It gives us an extra toughness. That's all it does. That's fine. Surprise attack for a surprise attack is fine because it knocks out the besieger, which leaves us with limitless stamina, which we can also play. This will just ready us, which means we can attack twice, we can thwart a bit, but most likely we're just going to recover 2, and then we'll jump up and then not recover. We'll attack for 2 probably. Maybe we'll just thwart for 1, actually. Thwarting for 1 on this one is fine. This is the scary one. She could draw an advance right away and it'd be a problem. As much as we can let the tower get slightly hurt, doesn't have to be perfect condition. It is a war. So let's start there. I'll play organic steel. So this comes in with 2 counters. I'm just going to use green. Whenever we lose a toughness, you exhaust this. That is important. And then you get a toughness instead. So we have some toughnesses in the bank. I'm going to recover for 4. Technically, we can only recover 2, but we have a 4 recovery, which is nice. We have a lot of health. We need to recover it somehow. And then I'm just going to flip up. So hero mode. Whenever we flip up, we can get a toughness, and we're allowed 2 of these, which, very importantly, piercing removes all toughnesses. So watch out. It's kryptonite. It's really, really, really quite bad. And when we flip up, we will respond. I thought this would be an interrupt, but I guess respond makes sense. After you change form, deal 3 damage to an enemy. We draw both of our surprise attacks. There probably should be a third in the deck. We did spend a physical, but regardless, we'll just do all the damage we need to the besieger. Solve that. And finally, I'm going to pull a limitless stamina. Again, we never have to check the 14 health. It's printed. Mind you, it's not how much you have now, so we can ready ourselves. And then we'll just play bulletproof. So discard a toughness. We'll discard this one. Technically, organic steel could kick in here, but we don't want to. And then we'll give our hero 2 toughnesses because this is not forced. This is a hero response. With this, we can attack for 2. I think our deck has a lot of damage. It doesn't have a lot of thwarting, so I think I'll just thwart for 1 and clear this one, which I think I'm more scared of because this one is the one that can do damage. Let's find it here. Under siege. That's important. Hey, Muscle Man, what's up? How's it going? How you doing? I'm a bit under the weather. My voice sounds weird. I'm probably talking too much already and doing damage, but we'll get through it. How you doing? I have a question for you. What's your thoughts on some kind of like progression system where you actually unlock cards along the way? I've been meaning to play this way. Just don't know how to do. Just don't know how. I would be so fascinated if this game had a roguelite mode where like your choices, your progression, you unlock cards and you basically like draft a deck. I mean, right now when I'm playing Arkham, I'm playing draft decks, which there's great websites that do it, but your deck is weird because you're drafting cards that you wouldn't normally play in a deck. And playing subpar cards, as long as the difficulty doesn't crush you, is really fun because it forces you to play interesting lines and, you know, make the best out of a weird situation. And I like that because it also makes you play with more of your card pool. There's a lot of cards in my card pool I've never played because they're just not good enough. And encouraging you to make the best of a bad card is fun. I think it'd be cool. I think it's hard to do. The problem why it's hard to do is that there's a lot of characters where if you played their hero kit and 25 blank cards, they'd still be fine. Like, I don't know what to do about it because a lot of hero cards are just good enough that you can coast through it and you don't need other cards. So I'm not sure what you're meant to do. Like, just pick the worst cards and then every scenario you can upgrade one of the cards. I would love it to be random. Like, you see 3 options. I'd have to think about it. And I know a lot of people have tried to make a roguelike mode for this game, but I think it would be very compelling if someone could figure it out. Somebody did that a few years ago. I'll look it up, what it was called. Give me a second. Oh, I'd appreciate to see it too. Steel Fist, this is nice. We could do this to Corvus. Oh, mind you, we're not moving this yet, but Steel Fist is really quite nice. We should be able to play it, no problem. We only have 3 hand size. Savage Strike, again, not something we want to be playing on the first couple of turns. We want to set up like, okay, Dropkick is something we might be able to play. We just need every resource in our hand to be physical. So far, so good. And lastly, not a physical. So with this hand, we're probably just going to play... This is not good. This is why you definitely need your research generators, because with a 4-cost hand, there's not much we can do. Dropkick, we don't have 3 physical, so it won't draw. So if our whole turn is just play the X-Gen and jump down, like we could do that and hope we draw an armor up, but like that's our turn here. The other thing we could do, which is probably a bit more safe, is we could just play Steel Fist and stun or confuse whoever the next villain's going to activate against us and then jump down to get 6 hand size. That's probably the best thing we can do. And then just hold on to this because we still have 2 more doubles in the deck. All right, I'm just going to show you the text on this once because it doesn't really matter besides us remembering to do it. But after the player phase ends, we move this, which means Proxima will be attacking us or activating against us. We add 1 threat to each scheme. Again, this one gives us an encounter card when it hits 6 and it clears all. This one does damage to the Avengers Tower. And now Proxima is going to attack us for 3 and a card. When she attacks, we can either deal 1 damage to the tower or give her +2 attack. We have toughness. I don't know if there's piercing on a boost, so I'll just say attack us for 5. We don't care. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, homesick. It's our obligation. So it's nice to know where it is. Usually the obligations actually kind of like drawing because it allows us to jump down to alter ego. So we'll take 7, which means we lose the toughness. Here, I'm going to use organic steel, which says when you lose a toughness, exhaust this, take a charge off, and replace the toughness. All right, encounter card. Rain Fire. I think this just hurts the building. Yeah, deal 3 damage to Avengers Tower. I mean, okay, if you say so. I mean, it's not a bad encounter card. It's actually pretty good, as much as we can draw too many of those. I don't know how many there are in the deck. There can't be that many. And it's back to us. So that's gone. 1 second. All right, so this turn, we can really Goofus Glaive him up by Steel Fisting. That's just good enough. Mind you, the second toughness, we actually always want to jump down in alter ego with only 1 toughness, because when we jump up, we get the second toughness. So like you don't have to tough max when you're in alter ego. So I think that's all we're going to do here. Again, this card technically is worded slightly differently. It's no longer cost, but we'll do 2 into Steel Fist. And we'll target Corvus Glaive. We can attack any villain. There's no requirements about that. So we'll deal 5 damage to Corvus Glaive. Let's see if this technology works. Down to 6. Nailed it. We'll discard a toughness. We can't replace it because organic steel is exhausted. We'll stun and confuse the poor guy. And that's that. It's called Endeavor. It was created by Venny Kaz. How would we find a wasteland? If we just search those words, it'll come up. Now, we have nothing to do in alter ego, so we can attack for 2, or we can thwart for 1. Thwarting for 1 seems kind of meaningless. Attacking for 2 seems slightly more meaningful, so I'm going to attack Proxima for 2. So she goes down to 10. This new system I'm not super used to, so make sure that I'm hitting the damage on the right character, and then we'll flip down. And notably, when we flip down, we can make a really cool decision. When you flip down, you can choose to shuffle a Colossus card from your discard pile into your deck. So we have a lot of options. The card I think I want to have in the discard pile the more than anything else is Armor Up, because this card allows us to just stay down in alter ego. Now, notably, it's not a good draw now, so we won't shuffle in maybe now because Corvus Glaive is just going to be confused. But later on, especially when our deck eventually will be like 6 cards, if we shuffle 1 in, we're almost guaranteed to draw 1. So we probably won't shuffle in 1 now. I think we should shuffle in a card that we're excited to draw, which is probably a second Organic Steel, which is a really good setup card and puts it on the table. So I'm going to shuffle this into our deck and then we'll pass. And now we're in alter ego, of course. We draw 6 cards, which let me tell you, that's a big difference between 4. I'm always getting choice paralysis in deck building. Yeah, when I was playing Arkham Horror, we realized with full collections, like our decks were just too good. They were doing way too many things. They were trivializing things. Obviously, we could play on a harder difficulty, but I just wanted to play with cards that I hadn't played ever or in a while. And so now we're all drafting decks, and upgrading draft upgrades are really, really fun too. But I have a really scrappy deck, and we see some cool things we've never seen in Arkham, which is great. All right, we're drawing up to 6. We'll keep the X-Jet. Genius, that's perfect. So we can play it a bit cheaper. We want our resource generators. We have Spider-Man Miles, who can give us 3 thwart if we can afford to play him. Hand cannon is not a priority. I guess I didn't show the cards that we were considering to be in this deck that didn't end up in this deck. Really quickly, the cards that I did cut were a lock and load, which allows you to get a weapon as much as 2 thwart. It's not the worst thing to do. It also has a physical on it as much as it'll remove itself from the game. And Superpower Training is a card that I also wanted to consider. It's a side scheme. It takes 3 threat though, but it gets us an upgrade from our deck, which we have some really important ones. Savage Strike's not very useful, and an energy. So this looks like this hand will play X-Jet and then probably Miles, or if not, hand cannon. We'll see what problems are in front of us. If it's a minion, maybe we'll do hand cannon. This goes to 3, this goes to 2. First, this goes over, so Corvus Glaive will activate, but he is confused, so we just get rid of that. We draw 1 encounter card. Direct Assault. Okay, this one's not bad. So this will attach to whoever's active. It says when the attached character would activate, and firstly they have to get through the stunt, the attack gets ranged, and if the attack defeats an ally, deal 3 damage to the tower, then discard this, which, because we have toughness, who cares? Doesn't matter. That's fine. We're made of metal. What are you going to do? All right, so it's back to us. We'll spend 1, 2, 3. Play the X-Jet. Notice our board has multiple cards that don't have physicals. That's good. You want to keep them on the table. The only other issue, though, is we haven't found any very important upgrades, which that is one of the complaints a lot of people have about Piotr in general, is like if you don't draw your upgrades, you're such a different character. That's why you play superpower training. We'll flip up. Again, we get our second toughness here. Then I'll play 1, 2, 3 for Spider-Man, for Miles, so I don't waste the cards. And when Spider-Man comes into play, we can decide to give him +2 thwart or +2 attack. I'm going to make him have +3 thwart. And then we're immediately going to thwart with him to clear this off. And then we are going to... Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll still do that. We get thwart for 1 here. I'm just going to attack Proxima for 2 and keep doing damage. Put her to 8, which means we can one-shot her if we draw the thing that gives us +6. And, oh, we have the X-Jet left over. Is there anything we hold on to? I realized we had the X-Jet. So we could play 1, 2, 3 for Spider-Man and then hold the hand cannon. I think it's fine. We'll just keep the X-Jet doing nothing. Back to us. Draw 4. That's perfect. That's what we wanted a year ago. Iron Will. Now, whenever we lose a toughness, we draw a card, let alone +1 thwart. That's incredibly important. Deft Focus. We're drawing all our important cards at once, which is really good. Helicarrier, we probably won't need as a physical, so we can leave it in the deck. And then we have Piotr Studio. So we drew all our best cards all at once. Really, really important that we get all these cards on the table because they also don't have physicals, which is a problem for us. Goes to 3, goes to 1. Slides over. And Proxima is going to tax us. So we have a toughness. We can get that toughness back, no problem. I think we do want to have 2 toughnesses. So she's going to attack for 5. We're going to give her +2. So she's attacking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 on gang up. We lose a toughness. We replace the toughness with organic steel. Discards itself. We draw 1 encounter card. All right, we have a minion. Black Order, infantry. So this one just has guard. When defeated, give the villain a tough status card. So we have a bit of piercing in our kit, so it might not be the worst. But guard means we can't attack either of them. This is a turn, though, we know we're not going to get attacked as much as we love jumping down to Alter Ego. And again, we know we have 1 armor up in the deck. We can shuffle 1 more back into the deck. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Technically, it'll be 16 cards. We're drawing 6 with 2 targets in it. I think we have like a 60% chance to get an armor up, which is pretty good odds. Hasn't been updated since May 2022. Oh, it's on TTS. I don't know that the online app is still available, but there is a mod for Tabletop Simulator for hitches. Oh. What upgrade does she have? Proxima? Oh, you're right. This is on the other person. Oh, excuse me. I didn't read the text. Sorry. Direct Assault says, attach to the villain who's not the active villain. So you're right. She should attack for +2 more. Gains range, which doesn't matter. So we actually clear that. I thought that was attached to Corvus Glaive. Good catch. I should read it a bit more carefully. All right, this is her hand. These cards are really important. The cool thing is that Iron Will is a superpower. So we're going to do the X-Jet to generate 1 to play Deft Focus. You know what? In hindsight, and unfortunately we're not allowed to do this, but we might not want to get the toughness because we can't spend the toughness with this hand and we're going to go jump down. Technically, this is a bad retcon because we could have drawn an encounter card that could have quick strike us, but this second toughness is now useless because all we're going to do here is like spend the Deft Focus to generate 1, throw out the Helicarrier to play Iron Will. This gives us +1 thwart, which is nice. But now the problem is when we jump down and jump back up, we're going to lose the toughness. So that stinks. Probably shouldn't have done that. We have a 2/2/2 stat line, which is nice. But yeah, we messed up there. We should have, if we're going to jump down, we should have kept the, what's it called? The organic steel because it's optional. All right, so Black Order Infantry is threatening to remove our toughness. This is coming to 3, which is not great because it will knock out the Avengers Tower. This does 6 damage to the tower, which is just perfect. So if that's the case, we probably should be thwarting it a bit. Corvus Glaive is going to not attack us. If we jumped out, he will scheme, and he's likely to give us another encounter card, which is not the biggest cost. So yeah, feel bad about that toughness. I think because there's no toughness there, we have to stand up, or we have to stay up. So I think we're just going to do attack for 2, and knock out the infantry, which gives the villain a tough status card, which will be Proxima. Will we hold on to Piotr Studio? I think we will. This is a card that we want to hit the table because it's a really good card in general, but also because it doesn't have a physical on it. We haven't drawn Hulk yet, but I think we're just going to pass. Not a super important turn, but we've drew 2 of our very important setup cards. This is also where stun is ugly because we want to be attacked because every time we're attacked, we draw a card. Speaking of draw a card, let's draw up. Martial Prowess. Generates a physical for an attack event. We have Shadowcat, our wild. She is our very good thwarting card. And then finally we have Jarnbjorn, which is not super necessary, but if we can get down cheaply, we will. Unfortunately, we have no superpowers in our hand. We always want a superpower because of depth focus. Goes to 4, goes to 2, slides over. Corvus Glaive does not attack. He's stunned. Instead, we draw this card. Oh, ooh, bad card. Proxima Sphere. Attach to Proxima. She has the worst text. Overkill and piercing. That's really quite bad. Now, if we want to get rid of this, we have to take a damage and spend energy and mental to discard this card. It will discard a toughness, which at least draws us a card. So it's not the worst, but we're going to lose a toughness to this, which means now with our deck being, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, it'll be 13 cards when we jump down. We have 2 targets and 13, drawing 6. We're not guaranteed to get an armor up, but this is probably a jump down armor up angle. Okay. Good thing you have Sunfire? No, we don't, because Sunfire has an energy. Yeah, that was my guess. Yeah, doesn't count for the deck. No good. So to get rid of Proxima Sphere, I think we're just going to do the Wild off of Proxima, off of the X-Jet. And then I think we have to get rid of an energy or mental. It's actually hard for us to get rid of some attachments because, you know, of the cards we're including in our deck. So we could get rid of Piotr Studio. That will draw a card when we lose the toughness, and then we can play Shadowcat. I think that's probably fine. That's probably what we do here. Piotr Studio allows us to like very aggressively find our armor up, which is nice, but I think we can take the risk here. So I'm going to take a damage. So we lose the toughness, which means technically we draw the card first. We draw Organic Steel. That's good. And then I'm going to spend the X-Jets, and then I'm going to throw out here. I think we do throw out Piotr Studio. And so we'll get rid of this so she doesn't have piercing, which is a nightmare. Deal and take a damage always confuses me. Oh my god, wait, you're right. Can we not do this? The next character would take any amount of damage. Oh, we can't do this. Yeah, wait, this is cursed. You're right. We can't do this because we're not allowed to take damage. I hate this ruling. The words should be different. Hold on. I don't know. It's not easy for me to read the text on this. Apologies. I don't know if you can read it. I'll just read it. It says, the next time this character would take any amount of damage, discard this card instead. And so the cost of getting rid of Proxima Sphere is taking damage. So we can't take damage because we're tough. This is massively upsetting. Because the rules written, we have no way of removing the spear if we have toughness. What? Like, that doesn't seem intuitive, but unfortunately, because it's not deal damage, it's take damage, we're not allowed to take damage because take damage is a cost. You know what I mean? I believe you can do it. Timothy, please save me because I'm clearly getting upset out here. How you doing? I haven't played in ages. Should give it a revisit. I remember it was pretty bad. Good second attempt at multi-villain fights. For what exactly? Yeah, this is not intuitive. Don't like this ruling. Hold on. We'll try and search for it ourselves. So... characters that cannot take damage cannot be assigned indirect damage. Yeah, that makes sense. A target that cannot take damage is not a valid target for an ability which only effect the target is to deal its damage, huh? A character with multiple tough status cards discards only 1 tough status. That's good. A single game occur. Okay, I'm just going to go to the take damage page. Oh boy. Is there no take damage page? What's take mean? Can you define take? Because it's a cost, and toughness means we cannot take damage, we can deal damage. Take, deal. I don't know. This might be true though. There's a difference. I had something similar with my Justice card, Great Responsibility. Hold on. What is the Great Responsibility text? When a amount of threat would be placed on the scheme, you take it as damage instead. Oh, and if you can't, you can't? Because you're tough? Wait. That's horrible. That's so cursed. If a character with a tough status would take any amount of damage, prevent all the damage and discard a tough status from the character instead. So I'm not sure if the rule is that we paid the cost. The thing is like, are cards affected with the cost, or do we just officially not pay the cost? It's an alternative method of payment. If it worked, it would say deal 1 damage. Yeah, exactly. It would be deal 1 damage, which is something you can ignore. But because we can't take damage, we can't get rid of this. That's like not how you'd hope it'd be. I guess we're not getting rid of that. We have to lose our toughness. So cool. That massively sucks. Do you know what's really funny though? We mentioned that there was like no reason not to jump up in hero mode and not get this because it's not forced, it's a response. This technically is a reason why we wouldn't take it. All right. I guess we're gonna be butting up against that rule for a moment. That sucks. Now we really need to play Sunfire. All right, so that's there. I'm just gonna shuffle for obvious reasons. Okay, great. So does that change our hand? We had 4 cards in our hand. Oh, Piotr Studio is still here. So that means we can either play Shadowcat and pass, or we could just like play Piotr Studio, play Yarnbjorn. When we jump down, we're gonna have a scheme problem here, like because that's getting pretty big. She will be the active. Yeah, she'll be the active. So we have to just draw armor up or we're cooked. Even if she attacks us, yeah, with armor up, it's pretty bad anyways. So this is ready. Oh wait, this is ready. We have a couple cards. So I think we just play Shadowcat, thwart 2. Worst case scenario, she takes an attack. She has 2 spears? Fuck. No way. No shot she has 2 spears. How could she carry 2 spears? I think we're just going to do X-Jet. We'll pitch 2 for Shadowcat. Oh, no. Actually, we should do that in the other order. We'll do X-Jet for Piotr Studio, because then we can use Piotr Studio to generate the card that we can play the cat with. Okay. Pick the cursed rules interaction. That's fine. So we have not much to do here. We're going to thwart for 2. We're going to keep this one down. We're going to hop down. In alter ego, we're going to use our text. So we're going to go shuffle a card into our deck, and we're going to shuffle armor up in, because if we draw armor up, we have sufficiently diffused an issue. Now, actually, if this goes down to 0 threat, it might not be the worst thing to do. Oh, before we, oh no, we have to do this first. I was going to say before we do that, we should Piotr's, but there's no window to do that. She doesn't have 2? Okay, thank God. I think Corvus's glaive has a glaive, 1 glaive, and Proxima has 1 spear. Yeah, like we paid a cost. We did take a damage. It's just sort of. I'm going to use Piotr Studio. So in theory here, we want to make sure we miss drawing an armor up. If we draw the armor up, we just, I guess, don't play Shadowcat. So we discard cards until we find one that it belongs to our friend here. Organic Steel. Okay. So that is the last Organic Steel, I'm pretty sure. So I think I'm still going to prioritize Shadowcat. Organic Steel is actually kind of useful. No, because we have to get rid of this. It's not useful. So we'll play our ally, and she'll just thwart for 2. Her text ignores a whole bunch of cool things. Ignoring Crisis is actually kind of useful in a lot of board states, so we'll clear that out. Spider-Man is at 1 health. Is that right? I guess we're going to wait. He can chump block, and we'll pass. All right, so we're drawing 6. We need to draw an armor up, or it'll be a problem. It actually might not be the worst problem because this will go to 1, 2, and if she gets a 3 boost. So we don't actually need an armor up here. We not necessarily had to shuffle one back into the deck. We have Machine Man. We have Lockjaw, so a bunch of our allies. In fact, almost all our allies. I should hold these a bit better. We have Limitless Stamina, so that's a cheap ready. And then we have Maid of Rage, 1 more card, armor up. Okay, so we can decide to play the armor up here. She will attack us for what's going to be like 6 damage and piercing, so that's good. That will remove all our toughness, which means that we can eventually remove Proxima's spear. So that's cool. We'll also draw a bunch of cards off of Iron Will. So I think we just have to take the attack to our face. Just Rap D&D. Yo, Mataffer, how'd it go? Thanks for jumping in on a Thursday Metrofall Grid stream. Hopefully you're now an expert at the game of Netrunner. She does not. I'm thinking of her activates. They both have 2 activate treacheries. Yeah, that I think. There's some like really anime art on some of these cards. Shout out to Joey Vasquez, who did like the Colossus art and the Proxima art. I like him a lot. All right. So sorry. This first swaps. I'm flustered about the spear. This goes to 3. This goes to 1. And now Proxima is going to activate. She would scheme for 1 in a card. In theory, we can just let it happen, but I think we can jump up so we can jump back down and do armor up next turn. So I'm going to play an armor up here, which now is errata to say when the villain would activate, change to hero form. So we flip up to hero form. Colossus's hero text is not going to matter for obvious reasons. And now Proxima is going to attack us. So firstly, Proxima says that when she attacks, we can either do 1 damage or give her +2 attack. I'm going to do 1 damage to the tower because if we do 6 damage to the tower, it doesn't really matter. So she's now attacking for 3, 4, 5, plus the spear, unfortunately. And the spear says that she has piercing and overkill. She's attacking for 3, 4, and an unknown card. We will not defend. So she's attacking us for 4, 5, 6, Shadow of the Past. I'm glad we didn't draw that. So we take 6 damage because of the piercing. And we lose all these toughnesses. But luckily, Iron Will, I'm pretty sure, draws 2 cards here. Because it says after a tough status card is discarded from Colossus, draw a card. I think that will happen twice because we remove 2. So we draw Hulk, and we draw Limitless. That's good. Now we're allowed to get rid of Proxima's Spear because we don't have a toughness, and that's important because we have to be able to take damage. Kind of weird. Proxima's power. Oh boy, she's going again. Proxima Knight activates against you, so she's attacking again. I think we're just going to do damage to the tower, and she's attacking for 3/4 and a card and has overkill. Now this won't kill us. There's no way it'll defeat us, but it's bad. We could exhaust for 2, but we're better recovering for 4, and we're probably going to jump down. So I think we're just going to take it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boost. Rain fire. If the damage from attack defeats an ally, deal 3 damage. Luckily we didn't. So we're going to take 3, 4, 5. We'll take 5 more damage. Imagine going from 2 toughness from 14 health down to 3 in a single villain phase. So wild. Double card draw for an attack. Yeah, imagine playing Taunt into that. It's so good. The best and most thematic scenario in the game. I know this is your favorite. I'm excited that you're able to make it for this one. I so far been really frustrated that we can't remove this damn spear if we're tough, apparently. So I think we have to get rid of that for obvious reasons. The deck is really healthy. We're not going to get rid of it anytime soon. So we need mental and energy. This is one of the issues where we're very bad at getting rid of cards because of waves vaguely at all the physical resources. So we're going to do Mate of Rage and X-Jet. We're going to have to take a damage, but we're going to get rid of Proxima's Spear once and for all. So it's good to get rid of that because that's a issue. It's a little harder than it looks on Expert and Heroic. We got to talk about Heroic because I started playing Heroic this week and I learned a heck of a lot. I found Stretch22's YouTube channel and watched a whole bunch of it. And man, I have interesting thoughts about Heroic. Heroic is kind of cool. Okay, so next turn, Corvus Glaive is going to activate against us. That's fine. We're going to be able to attack and then ready. So I think we're going to probably thwart ready so we can heal because we're going to have to heal a whole bunch. I think this is a good turn to put Hulk into play. I'm glad you did. Now you understand why I've been spitting. I mean, some of it makes sense. Some of it still doesn't make sense. Some of your recommendations, I'm like, okay, that makes way more sense. Some of them I'm like, still, wait, that's interesting. But yeah, I've been definitely getting into it. Pretty cool stuff minus Loki. Yeah, I'm not a Loki or Thanos fan, but Hell is incredible. This tower defense is kind of cool. Okay, so now we're going to we'll throw out Lockjaw, which we always do. He gets a separate discard pile. I think we'll throw out Mockingbird and we'll play Hulk. We're going to use Spider-Man here because we can get him into the discard pile. Now, Hulk is the reason why the deck is built the way it is, because we have mostly physicals. We, in theory, could do a check. I'm just going to check. Our deck is entirely physicals. Now, if we discarded Titanium Muscles, we'll be slightly upset, but our deck is entirely physicals. Next time I won't check because I think it'll be more fun if we rip it. But yeah, technically Hulk now attacks for 5 damage, which is pretty buck wild. So speaking of 5 damage, Hulk will attack for 3 into, oh, there's toughness. So I guess Corvus Glaive gets it. And then Hulk says, you're forced to discard a card. We discarded Bulletproof Protector. So it does 2 more damage to an enemy. I think we'll take the toughness off. Okay. Shadowcat. We'll thwart for 2. She'll miss the cycle. And then Spider-Man will attack for 2 into Proxima. Defeated. Again, we can't defeat one of them until they both get defeated. So Corvus Glaive or Proxima can be at 0, but they only advance once both of them are defeated. We will attack for 2 into Proxima, down to 4. And then we're going to use Deft Focus for Limitless Stamina. So this just readies us. So I think we're going to jump down and just recover. Our deck has an armor up in it, so we don't have to shuffle an armor up back into it. So I think we'll just shuffle up an Organic Steel back into it, because next turn we're drawing our very important research generator. So that's really good. We don't have to use Piotr Studio because, oh, we could actually and just play one of those cards. No, it's a 50-50. If we draw the armor up, it's bad. If we draw the other one, it's not bad. So I think we're actually going to 50-50 this here. So what we're going to do now is just jump down. When we jump down, we can shuffle one of our cards back into our deck. So unfortunately, we're going to lose Lockjaw here, which actually might not be the play. But I think we're just going to try and get as many 2-cost playable upgrades in our deck. So I'm going to shuffle an Organic Steel. And now we have to really shuffle this, because we're going to be drawing one of these. We have a 2 in 3 chance of this being successful, 1 in 3 chance of drawing the armor up, which will be bad because we'll not only lose a card draw, but we'll lose a card draw next turn. We'll recover for 4 before we forget. And then we'll use Piotr Studio, do some painting. So we discard cards. We want to draw not the armor up. Nice. Okay, got it. Because now this Organic Steel is in our hands, and the other 2 cards now we can pitch to play for the Organic Steel. So first cycle, actually not that bad. I think we did okay there, because we'll now have 2 toughness worth of toughness when we jump up. We got a lot of the cards that have non-physicals on the table. The only one we're looking for, we're going to be drawing in a second, and now we'll just pass. 5 damage, 6 synergy. It's really good. Imagine a 2-cost card that attacks for 5 that many times. So we draw our titanium muscles, which we needed this a year ago. The +1 attack does go far, but more so because it's a really good research generator. The armor up is the other card we have, which is the reason we can do this. As much as Corvus Glaive could scheme, we don't really care. We get an encounter card, and then we'll shuffle. Yeah, Metaver, I think the thing that I most appreciated about playing solo Heroic was that it actually solves some of the issues I have. Where like playing solo Heroic or playing solo Marvel Champions in general, there's a lot of strategies you can't rely on, right? Like Chase Them Down is not a card I value when I play solo because the chance of finding a minion and having it be defeated on the turn that this is in your hand, unless you're playing specifically like a minion gathering hero, it's not that common. It's like not that consistent. However, now that you're drawing 2 encounter cards every turn, the chance of you having a minion on every turn or most every other turn makes this card so much better, let alone it's a hyper efficient card, which is something that values. Yeah, it's not so much it makes you play, like, it's not so much it makes you look at underplayed cards. Maybe that is a way of describing it, but it means like cards that have situational board states, those situations happen a lot faster. I also was not ready for how quickly acceleration comes at you, which like is a problem when you draw twice as many encounter cards. But yeah, that's cool. That actually is a cool thing I appreciated. It's like a lot of the minion synergy cards, like just, what's the one where Rocket just draws cards? That one's really good. Yeah, I don't play this card a lot in solo unless I'm playing like Tigra or like, you know, Winter Soldier, somebody who can get minions. But in Heroic, yeah, okay, it happens a lot. Are you playing in my Colossus deck? Big Mind Colossus? No, this is based off of, unless your handle was at some point. Hold on. This is based off of Journeyman 2's deck. Is that you? We have Armor Up, Made of Rage. Drop Kick, which we might start swinging, especially a Proxima to keep her pinned down, a Hand Cannon for some overkill, and a Savage Strike. So in theory, we have the +12 damage. The problem is like these are not good heroes to hit for like +12. Do you like how there's a lot more minion summoning now? Yes. Unless you're playing Justice, or sorry, Leadership, which only I think has 1 target. But the minion summoning cards got so much better in this last little while. All right, 2, swings over. Corvus Glaive is attacking us. In theory, we want to block Corvus Glaive's attacks. I think Shadowcat might just do it, and we can preserve our toughnesses. I think that's okay. We also can just let him scheme for 2 and a card. Then we'll draw 3 encounter cards, which is not the worst thing. Our hand is actually really good at dealing with encounter cards because we have a whole bunch of our minion destroying cards. But I think we'll still armor up. So again, this was confirmed. So when the villain would, we flip up. When we flip up, we get a toughness. And we're now being attacked. So Corvus Glaive is now attacking. So he's going to attack for 2 and a card. However, if we don't block this, some damage happens to the Avenger's Tower. So I think I'm going to block with Shadowcat just so that we can preserve this because we have a whole bunch of cards that interact favorably with it. So 1, 2. Oh, we put her on 4, which is perfect for the stun. 1, 2. Boost Proxima's power. Oh yeah, this is scary. I always forget about this one. Add the other villain's scheme and attack to this activation. So he's attacking for 5. Shadowcat will take it. She did defend, so it's not undefended. She'll be defeated. We can always shuffle her back into the deck, but the wild icon is really, really scary when it comes to Hulk. All right, first encounter card. City under attack. Crisis, just when we need to Shadowcat. So, oops. Hinder 2 comes in with 3. Sorry, Hinder 3. When defeated, the player who defeated the scheme draws a card. Seems good. And then we found Corvus's Glaive. Corvus Glaive. Was he named after it, or was it named after him? The +1 attack, he has Retaliate. I don't care. Take a damage, which again, we can't do when we're tough to get rid of this, so whatever. That'll catch you live. Hey, X-Wing, how's it going? How's your Sunday been? I know you get to see more of the villain's deck on Heroic, and then minis is always going to show up. Minions up in 4 players all. I think that was the other good part about Heroic is that you do get experience more of what the villain does, and I do actually really appreciate that. Yeah, hey, X-Wing. Okay. So, what are we doing here? Our deck has a high chance the Hulk will just do 5 damage. For what it's worth, it's not super useful on this turn. I think the cards we want to play are Titanium Muscles. Of course we want to play Titanium Muscles, and it is a superpower, so I think we're just going to do 1, 2 for Titanium Muscles. This card is incredibly important because not only do we have +1 attack, but we can exhaust this to generate 1 or up to 2, down to 0 in theory. So that's really quite nice. It also generates physicals, so I think we're just going to dropkick Proxima Midnight to keep drawing. If that's the case, though, I shouldn't use the X yet. I should use Maid of Rage because we need the physicals for this thing. So I'm just going to do generate 1, generate 2. Oh, no, that's not the case. But I don't think we're going to play this. 1, 2, 3. We'll drop kicker. So we're going to target Proxima here. So deal 4 damage to an enemy. So Proxima gets hit for 4 damage. And we stun her, so she won't activate against us, which is cute. And because we played with all physicals, we draw a card. If we have a double here, we can play the hand cannon. Oh, we got an organic steel. Interesting. Okay, we don't really want to jump down. I think we just want to thwart this, which will take us a minute. Hulk could attack, and we could get lucky. It has Retaliate, though, which kind of stinks into Hulk. Corvus has Retaliate. But it will knock out Corvus Glaive. When we advance, do they do anything? I don't think they do anything when we advance. I think their numbers just get bigger. Like, they don't get steady, right? No, numbers get bigger, that's it. So I guess we'll use Hulk and just hope. Like, that's why he's there. So Hulk is going to attack into Corvus Glaive. So he takes Retaliate, and he'll take 1 consequential. So he attacks for 3 into the villain. Corvus takes 0. So they advance. Proxima Midnight, 3. I think their texts are entirely the same. When Proxima Midnight attacks you, choose to either deal 1 damage to Avenger Tower, give her +2. Now she schemes for 2 and attacks for 3, has 15 health. Villain set 15, and Corvus Glaive. Same idea. After he attacks, makes an undefended attack, discard the top card, deal 1. He schemes harder now for 3, has 14 health. Hulk takes a Retaliate. We have to discard the top of our deck. Of course, it's a physical, so we can deal 2 damage, and technically these are both legal targets. I think we're just going to hit Corvus Glaive here. I wonder, we have so much damage that I think we're not using on this turn. Just working on some more late night editing after everyone's gone to bed. I played my 100th game of Champions last night. I used my favorite Speedy Boy in a repurposed deck. He might be one of my favorite deck hero combos. Man, you're giving me so many excuses to only play protection, and I really respect that. But yeah, Speedy Boy is really fun, especially when boosting stats, reading yourself. Repurpose is really, really good. Glad you enjoyed it. For the future of the game, if they do revisit guys like Hulk and Spider-Man, they need cards like Titanium Muscles with stat increases with awesome effects combined in 1 card. Yeah, it's a bit feast or famine. It's just really cool how you want to be metal and protect the metal. Like, I like that a lot. I don't know, maybe I'm a simple man. I'm going to throw it for 2. Off City under attack, the only legal target. Crisis, mind you, protects both of the main schemes. And then we have these cards here, which are not great. I think Organic Steel we can hold on to. If we could figure out a way to deal damage, we actually could draw a card. So it could be correct for us to attack Corvus Glaive, to take the Retaliate, to lose a toughness, to draw a card so we can actually play one of these cards. That honestly might be correct. That instead of wasting this hand, we actually take Retaliate. Let's try and do that, because I think that's kind of interesting. So instead of attacking or thwarting, I'm going to attack Corvus Glaive, who has Retaliate. So firstly, he'll take 3, because we have 3 attack. But the Retaliate will take this toughness off. Then we'll interrupt it with Organic Steel, or I guess respond to it. So then we'll remove a counter to give ourselves a toughness. But firstly, Iron Will fires, and it says when we remove a toughness, draw a card. So now we have this. Then we can just use our hand. So we'll spend 2 on the other Organic Steel. So kind of neat that you can control your card draw if there is Retaliate on the table. And then we'll pass, because we're exhausted, yeah. All right, drawing up only to 4, but now again, we'll be drawing a lot more cards. Surprise attack is useless. We want to be jumping down. Steel Fist is really good because we can stun and confuse Corvus Glaive and then jump down 1 more time. We have a Mockingbird, which we haven't played yet, but we might. And a Limitless Stamina, which is free. Again, we want a superpower in every hand. We have 2 choices. That's really quite good. Goes to 3, goes to 3, slides over. Proxima's stunned, so we keep our toughness for better for worse, and then we get Assault. Okay, good. She's attacking us. We're actually excited about that because it's kind of good for us when we get attacked. So Proxima is attacking us. So she's attacking for 3 in a card. We're going to give her +2 attack because who cares? Hulk is ready. So we're being attacked for 5. We'll just take it. So 5 boost. This is Corvus's Cunning. So we add the Corvus's Glaives attack. So we actually get attacked for 8. We don't care. We lose the toughness, which draws us a card. Spider-Man. And then we get 2 toughnesses back. So 1, 2. Before I automatically give ourselves 2 toughnesses, I should check our hand that makes sense. It probably does. But there are, again, some board states where if you're going to immediately jump down to Alter Ego, you don't actually want 2 toughnesses. We're going to use Steel Fist, so should we be fine. I mostly only play core though through wave 2 heroes and content, so I have a lot of other heroes to explore, but just have a blast once he's up and running. I don't. It's lost on a lot of people, but a lot of the cards, or some of the cards in this game, but specifically in this deck, are references to Netrunner cards. There's a beloved Netrunner card called Always Be Running. It's a like kind of a mantra people say, but just seeing that on a card in Marvel Champions at the same time when Netrunner was coming out, this was done intentionally. It seems from the people at Fantasy Flight Games, which like makes me very happy. Okay, I think we're actually like pretty close to the scenario being over. We're at 6 health, but not really scared. The spear was a bit of a road bump. So I think here we definitely want to do a Steel Fist. It's probably going to be for Corvus Glaive though, which means we're going to get retaliated. So we're going to end up with no toughness, which I think is actually kind of acceptable. It means we also could remove his glaive, but playing the Steel Fist is genuinely going to draw us 2 cards. So we're going to do Death Focus because it's a superpower. And we'll get rid of the surprise attack because it's functionally useless. So we will deal 5 damage to an enemy. You may discard a tough status card from your hero to stun and confuse. So we'll remove a tough status card, stun and confuse. Again, anytime that we remove a toughness with Iron Will, we draw a card. So we draw an armor up, not a great draw. We then deal 5 damage to Corvus Glaive. And because Corvus Glaive has Retaliate, we lose the second toughness, which means we also draw a card. Got a Helicarrier. Slightly too late. That's okay. Oh, wait, we should have used Titanium Muscles first. Hold on. Hold the phone. Before we do any of that, oh my god, I forgot we had the Titanium Muscles. We obviously drew a bunch of cards, so I'm just going to pretend we didn't have those. We would just play our most expensive card. So we would have played, I guess, Mockingbird for 1, 2, and a random card. Who cares? 3. I guess we'll use this. Excuse me. I forgot we're going to get rid of this. We have to use this sooner than later. You can use both organic steels? Totally. They exhaust, so you can only use 1 per organic steel, but if you have both, they're fine. And of course, she'll stun proxima. Okay, that was almost really bad. Okay, this is her hand. We can play Miles. No problem. We can get another card by jumping down. We technically should always be hulking first, because if Hulk does 1 damage to every character, actually that's not true, because if Hulk does damage to us, that's pretty bad. Getting rid of this Retaliate seems less necessary, because I think Hulk is just going to knock out Corvus Glaive. As much as Hulk is going to get knocked out himself. So we're going to use Hulk. We're going to attack Proxima for 3. So 3 into the villain. And to Proxima, sorry, wrong villain. And then we have to discard the top of the deck. So we're hoping physical. It's physical, no surprise. And so for that, we'll do 2 damage to Corvus Glaive. And because that's not an attack, we don't take Retaliate. Mockingbird with 4 for 1. And we'll finish it. City under attack says, when defeated, the player who defeated this draws a card. Nice. Steel Fist, which we don't have the toughness to play it anymore. So that's fine. Board state's fine. Corvus Glaive will be confused. If this goes off, it's fine. This is the biggest threat for us, but that's okay. I think Miles will just thwart that down. We can Limitless Stamina and then still play Miles, so I think we will. We'll pitch the Helicarrier to play Limitless. We'll ready ourselves. So here we can go attack for 3, which could knock out Corvus Glaive. I don't think we're in a rush to do that. I think Hulk will do that next turn. So I think we're just going to probably recover. If this goes off, it's fine. So we'll jump down. When we jump down to Alter Ego, we can shuffle a card back into our deck. I think all we want to do is do a lot of damage to Proxima. So I think I'm going to grab the one that does +6 damage, Maid of Rage. And hopefully we get a Maid of Rage Savage Strike, because that's kind of what our deck wants to do. This also has an energy on it, which is a bit worse for Hulk. So there's a bit of a cost of shuffling this into the deck. I found Star-Lord in Arkham Horror a few months ago. It was nifty to see. Is there Star-Lord in Arkham Horror? Almost every aspect of Marvel Champions or hero is also a card in Transformers TCG. I think Caleb was a big fan of it. Oh, because Caleb worked on that game, right? Or no, just a fan of it. At least it's a wild coincidence. Same as the Triple Changers, Transformers, and Triple Form Heroes. Triple Form Heroes is like really good technology. Would you bother with attack training Hulk and making him an honorary X-Men? No, because it's a liability. I don't think it's worth it. Like, okay, so Hulk already is really good. Like boosting 5 damage, I don't think is super necessary. Honorary X-Men, we'll see what icon it has. It has a physical, so like we can get away with that, I guess. Attack training probably has a physical on it. I don't like cards like this that only, like, if we had more X-Men in the deck, then I'd be more excited to play attack training. The problem is we only have 2, I think. So it doesn't feel amazing. Actually, you're right though. Giving him +2 health might matter. I think it's the health that matters more. So I would say maybe. The issue is as soon as you draw the wild, which there's only one of, or a mental, he discards himself. And so you're really putting your eggs in a very dangerous basket. Maybe that's the fun of it. I could see that being fun. I would probably guess that's less consistent, but quite fun probably. So maybe that's cool. All right, we're going to use Piotr Studio just to get another resource. So we're going to discard cards until we find one that's ours. Dropkick, no. Limitless. Okay, Bulletproof Protector, that's not super useful, but we'll pitch 3 for Spider-Man. When he comes into play, we can give him +2 thwart, so he's 3 thwart. And he'll just thwart down this side scheme. And we'll recover for 4, which is super, super, super extra. I remember when MC first released, the first reaction everybody has to Nick Fury was Marvel Guardian. Gandalf? Oh, yes, yes. As much as Magic is also the Marvel Gandalf in this game, if you've played the other Gandalf. All right, Machine Man, cool. Oh, my voice is really not doing well. Bulletproof Protector is nice because that draws us a card. We have Lockjaw, who's been fine. Martial Prowess, Strength. Ooh, look at all these physical resources. And then we have Savage Strike. So there's still a chance we can get another card here and do the Savage Strike for 1700 damage, but this should be the last turn. So this slides over. This goes to 4. Goes to 1. Is confused. We didn't shuffle back an armor up because of the confused. We definitely could have if that was an option. Outrider. Okay. This is a cool little guy. You love this guy when you're playing like Tigra because you don't do the win revealed. So when he enters play, discard a card randomly from your hand. I realized I should always be doing this face up. I shuffle and do face down. It's so much more exciting to do this face up. I saw Stretch 22 doing it. I'm like, wait, that's a way better way of doing it. So left is 1. 5. We lost Savage Strike. No, imagine we lost Lockjaw. That was the cool card we wanted to do. We wanted to attack for 12 damage or whatever. Bummer. Okay. Little guy sucked. Okay. We'll use Piotr Studio here. I don't think we have anything clever. So we'll just discard until we find something. Maid of Rage. I'm so upset. We could have done it. We could have done the attack for 13. Instead, we can only attack for 9. That's so upsetting, the Savage Strike loss, because we could have done the cool thing. Whatever. We have not much to do here. We'll flip up. We'll give ourselves a toughness. Then we're going to go play Bulletproof Protector. I think the order here is fine. So we'll discard a toughness, which means Iron Will draws a card. And then, oh, never mind. We got it. We'll put 2 toughnesses in. We should have it here. So now we're going to do double Maid of Rage, which is equally funny. So we're going to attack for 3. When you make a basic attack, discard a tough status. So we're going to discard 1. We have +6 to attack and overkill. So we'll attack the Outrider because it wronged us in a very obvious way. Because we discard a toughness, we can draw a card. We'll play the second Maid of Rage. Notice how we had a mental on top. So we'll discard this toughness, which draws a card. So we're attacking for 3 + 6 + 6. We're attacking for 15 with overkill. The Outrider is destroyed, massively destroyed. I'm realizing I don't know how overkill works. Can you pick the villain for overkill, or is it tied to forced defense? How does overkill work in a multi-villain scenario? I'm realizing I don't know as soon as I played this and drawn all my cards. Someone in chat, please help me out. Because either Corvus Glaive is going to get massively overkilled, or this is going to be a huge mistake. Hobie was a fan when I started making Transformers cards 2020. I def made some that were nods to his work. It was actually a live stream where I was asked his favorite card he made. He said card shark. Oh, very cool. Which I hope is a reference to Skybite character from the game. The ability and stats kind of match. Amina Zidane is the Arkham investigator that I think Star-Lord got his power from. I had to look it up. Wait, what? Oh, the Doom as a cost on like a flat stat line? I'm assuming we can overkill either of them. I need to open the rules pamphlet with this to figure out if there's rules about what the villain is. But I think we're allowed to call what the villain is. Hold on. Let's search the overkill section. Alphabet's difficult to keep changing it up, so I didn't know which way to go. Lameno, sorry. They put a lot of stuff. Okay, overkill. If an ally takes any amount of damage from an attack with the overkill, you simultaneously deal damage equal to the excess amount of damage to the player who controls the ally. Yeah, that's fine. If a minion takes any amount of excess damage from an attack with overkill keyword, simultaneously deal damage to the excess amount to the villain. So I think because it's player cards, we decide who the villain is. Damage dealt by overkill to an identity or villain is considered damage from an attack and does not constitute an attack against character. When an ally or minion with tough stats card is dealt excess damage, attack with overkill damage is not dealt to the identity of that ally's controller to the villain, respectively. Okay. I don't think we learned anything here, but that was good. I think it imagines. I'm going to say that we can do it. I think when it says the villain, unless it's an encounter card, we can decide where it goes. So again, we're attacking for 3 plus 6 plus 6, so 15. So we do 12 to Outrider. And then we can do 13 to Proxima. She is technically not defeated yet. Then we'll just let Hulk attack for 3 into Corvus. Unfortunately, I think Hulk is defeated before his text goes off because he dies to retaliate first. So Hulk just does 3. But I don't think he survives to do his text. He would have discarded, of course, a physical. That's how it'd be. And we got both of them. Not too bad. Fair bit of status control, which is good. Big damage when it matters. Again, we could have attacked for so much more if we kept the Savage Strike. We had all these cards left, so we could have easily like pitched Lockjaw, played Lockjaw, or done Machine Man and attacked for 3 more. But we had so much more damage on deck. We had Mockingbird, we had Spider-Man, we had Machine Man, we had Lockjaw. We could have even increased our own attack stat. We didn't use Titanium Muscles, which obviously was wrong. We should have used the Titanium Muscles on like a Machine Man before we removed all our toughness, but we were going to get lethal anyways, so it's totally acceptable. Bottom 2 cards of the deck, Steel Fist, some more damage. Colossus is really fun. Good game to all of these Avenger Towers defenders. All right. Fun. Aggression Colossus is cool. I want to Hulk more. I want to draw Hulk in our opening hand and fire it. We lost 1 Hulk trigger, but like Hulk didn't even survive. Like the scenario did not survive to be able to be attacked 5 times from Hulk. We got 4 Hulk attacks before the scenario is over. So yeah, I wonder if we do need to give him more health or not. All right. I probably should take it a bit easier today, but I think we can do 1 more scenario. We've only been streaming for less than 2 hours. I think we're going to do Enchantress, which I have queued up. If there's something else you want to specifically see, let me know. But Enchantress was the one I originally wanted to play into this, and then I realized, wait a second, it's been a while since we've done tower defense. And I think it's actually an interesting matchup, unfortunately, about the whole attachment thing. GG. Hey, Nocturnal. All right, I'm just going to clean this sloppily, and we can come back and fix it better later. We just need to take out all the standard cards and expert cards. Oh, I want to say one of the last times we were on stream, we lost a standard 3 card. I found it. Unfortunately, we weren't playing with it that day. I mentioned that I had played that nice person's custom scenario, and that scenario required standard 3, and so it got stuck in the 4 Horsemen. Found it later. Did you pack Sunfire? I mean, you tell me what icon's in the bottom left corner. No, we did not. Normally I would, but the icon is just too much of a liability. Yeah, Enchantress is really fun. And I think also Enchantress having steady is going to really slow us down, that we can't always just like, you know, get out of dodge immediately for free. So I think she's going to be an interesting matchup. Because yeah, she's not super easy to stun or confuse lock, which I think I'll appreciate. All right, let's give this a shot. So I changed the technology here. So if I just write in her name, it should like update her stats and pull her hero card up. Did I do it? It says Enchantress PNG. So I did it wrong. Hold on. But that's on me. That one's on me. Yeah, so if I don't say PNG, is it working? Hell yeah. Okay, sick. Great. So that works. All right, it's Enchantress. So we have a bunch of these Hypnotic Gazes. We'll shuffle them. We'll draw one randomly. Let's just do the setup. This goes aside. We're going to be playing with the allies that it adds to our deck, which are, they have wild icons, but I'm pretty sure they end the victory display if they get discarded or defeated. So that should be fine. And then we're going to be playing stock standard. So I think I have this. So yeah, we're going to be playing with the Defiant characters, or yeah, Defiant characters. So she has a couple minions. Some of them are big. Some of them have guard and a lot of health. And then we're playing with Trickster Magic, which is a pretty cool scenario, or a pretty cool encounter set, as much as I haven't played it outside of Enchantress just yet. So Prime Real Estate. So what do we have here? Set Future of Despair that shows up when she advances. The text on her is really cool to make sure that always happens at the right time. Attach a random hypnotic gaze to each identity without looking at the backside, and then set the remaining aside out of play. Cool. I had the same thing happen with regular standard and ended up buying a whole new core set because proxying the card would have given me anxiety. Found the card later in tower defense. The standard card kerfuffle. It's so stressful when you lose the thing, not only that you want, but it's like kind of annoying and expensive to replace. I really wish, and unfortunately it would like undermine what they're kind of going for, but imagine that every box you bought came with its own version of standard with the same text, but with the art from that set, right? Like you would have a standard from Mutant Genesis. You'd have a standard from Sinister Motives. Like that would actually make the product a standalone product, barring tokens, which like I think would be so cool, but they obviously want you to buy a core set. But the only thing that makes a lot of the products not a standalone is that they don't have a standard in it. But I just want to see standard. Like I want to see standard with other art. Like I think everyone gets so excited when they started doing resources with other art. Why does it got to stop there? As much as it does add cost to the thing. After D&D got my buddy into MC today with Aggression Magneto versus Mutagenic Formula, went home and bought the core and all he could online. Yo, that's awesome. That's really cool. I'm excited to see Wonder Man. He looks like a fun hero. So after we streamed on Sunday, we saw some more and more Wonder Man spoilers throughout the week. As of tomorrow, I think we're starting to see more Hercules spoilers. And I think at this point, we're going to have all of the Wonder Man cards. I think we already have all the Wonder Man cards spoiled and all the Hercules cards spoiled. I don't think I've looked at the Wonder Man cards all together, but seeing every Wonder Man card come up, they've all been cracked. Like, I think some of the spoilers we saw earlier today were earlier this week were unbelievably good. Like, absurdly good. They really should do that, but it would make folks pass on core box. I don't know. I think you still need a core box because it comes with a lot of good stuff. And I think it's the best value for money that this game has, technically. I don't know. It's the sort of thing where it's a product that only makes sense for the diehard community, but like an alternate art pack would like go hard. The issue is it would only go hard in a small minority of people. Civil War Box having little new art was sad. Yeah, for me, that was a huge disappointment. What's your thoughts on Cameo? Game-breaking stuff right there. Oh yeah, Cameo was cool. Yeah, there was a YouTube comment saying like, hey, you got to check out Cameo. I think you'll really like it. I think it's neat. I think in terms of like being, first order optimal, it's not great. I think it's actually surprising how small the pool is of cards that interact with Cameo favorably, because a lot more than you think of unique cards actually really care about your hero's kit, right? Like cards that interact with your counters or your shtick or say your cards by name. Like it's about 50%, it seems, of the allies, the unique allies, do not work out of deck because they're so ingrained into the deck. That being said, there's some strong ones that are outside of that case, right? Like Captain Marvel, for instance, really obviously good. Hold on, it takes a while to find her. Right? Like there's some that are just generically very good. You get some really good healing if you go grab what's her name, Mantis. I looked at the list and there's only a handful that I think are really, really exciting. Brawn is really good. I think that's the name is Brawn, right? The one from, I want to say Miss Marvel, but that's probably not right. Ironheart is from Ironheart. Oh, Moon Knight. Moon Knight's really, really good. There's certain nights that Moon Knight's busted, but Moon Knight's going to be busted anyways because it's a one-cost ally, right? Like, I think the card pool of cards that Cameo interacts with is actually really kind of small. Kind of small in the same way that Sidekick is actually not that good in most decks. But it's still very, very interesting. The one thing that does get me, though, is the cost of discarding 2 cards on turn 1. I'm going to emotionally hate that. Turn 1 is so important. And because I love playing upgrades, there's so many decks where turn 1 is the most important turn of the game. Like, you see our turn 1 last game? It wasn't amazing. We still got through, but drawing 2 fewer cards, like, stinks. It's cool that you draw the 2 fewer cards after you mulligan so you can see your hand and then discard. It's not like you just have a 4-card hand size. Like, it's a slightly more generous than what I'm saying. Red Wing OP? Yeah, Red Wing's okay, as long as you have an Aerial or Avenger payoff cards, like Avengers Mansion, or not Avengers Mansion, Avengers Tower really helps. But yeah, I was looking at it and I looked at a bunch of the cards and I think there's a couple things that are interesting, but it's not as universally playable as you might want it to be. I'm notoriously bad for putting JoJo references in cards I didn't design. Battlefield Benevolence has art that references Dragon Ball, I think. Battlefield Benevolence is a good card. That is a sick card. I don't think you need more cheap Confuse in yellow Injustice, but Battlefield Benevolence is a hell of a card. That I think is like a card I'll be playing probably more than Cameo, but there definitely will be cool Cameo decks. There's no way around it. All right, let's roll a die. Colossus, funny enough, is sick as a Cameo card. Oh yeah, Colossus is one of the good ones for a couple reasons. Like has the wild, has really good text. But yeah, Colossus is one of the generically playable ones. But again, there's just like so many ones that don't work, like Snow Clone, right? Like name a hero, usually their ally doesn't work. Winter Soldier, like no, it's no good. You don't play enough Black Widow cards. It's like, it's strange. It's not perfect. Yeah, Winter Soldier and Moon Knight. Anybody who cares about allies getting access to Moon Knight is cool, but then you also have to play leadership, which like, I'm not sure. I'm excited to play a leadership ally or a minion gathering deck. 1 to 5. 4. The gaze. Our stats are 1 to 2. Oops. That's that. These we don't need, but we can't look at the backs for obvious reasons. And then we flip this over. All right, we're on a clock of sorts because every time Enchantress attacks us, the bad thing happens. We get closer and closer to being enthralled. This is when a charm counter would be placed on your enchantment. If you're already enthralled, place a threat here, which gives a little clock. 6 is pretty slow, or pretty low, but there is another side to this, or another main scheme more accurately. We have Enchantress 2. So it schemes for 2, attacks for 2. She's steady and she's tough. The steady really does matter because we have a lot of cards that do 1 tough for 1 stun or 1 confuse. She has 16 health. When revealed in standard mode, put the set aside feature Despair into play. We're not in standard mode. And after she attacks you, place a scheme on the enchantment card. I made this card called Impetuous Stand, excuse me, with art that referenced Stardust Crusade's final battle and even hide. Are you approaching me? And Cybertronian on the card, can't help it. I'm a JoJo fan. Winter Soldier leadership can use the Captain America title. He's definitely my first build around. I was considering doing that today. I was recommended to do that. I'm not sure if it was from you, Tony, but I was looking at it as one of the options of what to do today, just because I want to play the Captain America title. But like, the cool thing about leadership is your minions block for you. Why do you have retaliate? Cameo does make Sidekick more fun though. Oh yeah, that's one of the coolest things that's worth saying is that I checked the text on Sidekick. It doesn't care if it is your ally. It just says attached to unidentity specific ally you control, which means you can cameo someone else's identity specific ally and make it your Sidekick. I think that is so nice that that is like as wide open as it could possibly be, because it was very easy for this card to say your identity specific ally, which would obviously hurt a fair bit. So that's kind of nice. That basically means that you can play like the busted Captain Marvel package, or I don't think you can play the busted Honey Badger package because I think that really depends on X23. I tried Cameo with Winter Soldier and Moon Knight and Hugin and Moon. It's heavy recursion, MTC regroup, rapid response. It's super fun. Very cool. Mockingbird. All right, that's 1 stun. We're gonna need 2 though. That's the issue. We're hard mulliganing for upgrades. Shadowcat. Hey, oh not you, but hey, that's a wild. It's good to know what those are. Show me a Hulk Yarnbjorn. I mean, it's pretty extra. We don't need this. I never spell this thing right. Yarnbjorn. Dropkick. A bit expensive. We want to find our setup upgrades. Okay. The big man is here. We always keep the big man. And then we have Savage Strike. Gonna just mulligan all of these cards away and find a double and find one of our important upgrades. Not you, one of our important upgrades. I mean, it's cheap. Sometimes we keep that. Well, we have no choices. Hey, that's nice. It's the X-Jet. It's good also because it's one of our non-physicals. Steel Fist is somewhat playable on turn 1. Not my most excited card. We have an armor up, which bad time to draw that. But we can now go search our deck for a copy of Organic Steel, which is actually really important. Not you, that would have been better. It's really important to get an Organic Steel down. Otherwise, you end up with no toughness, and then you draw poorly when they don't do anything. All right. I just make the call and then sidekick my buddy's Sig allies. Oh yeah, you can do that. Multiplayer. What a weird thing. Okay. Sorry, I'm congested. So what can we do here? Hulk is 2. Organic Steel is 2. That's obviously kind of ugly. We could try getting the X-Jet down first, which I think I would appreciate. So if we get the X-Jet down, we have then these 4 cards to play. So we could do X-Jet, Armor Up for Organic Steel, Hold Hulk. Honestly, Hulk is that important that our deck is built around. I would hold Hulk. But the thing is, Organic Steel will immediately get value this turn. So I think that's probably what we do. Set up a research generator, hold Hulk, play Organic Steel. The only other thing we could do is like maybe play the X-Jet. Then we use the X-Jet for Limitless, hold 2. No, obviously that's not good. So I think we're going to hold the Hulk because he's not doing that much this turn. Because we already have a toughness. We could attack for 1, or for 2. That's fine. It's like -25 over in the East Coast. It's so cold. Yeah, we are hitting -25, -30 with wind chill. It's pretty bad. We didn't lose power this weekend, so can't complain. But it is cold. And I got to go to the office every day this week. All right, we'll pitch 1, 2, 3. Doesn't matter which ones, but it's the X-Jet. So that generates 1 for us. It's also not a physical. Good to get that out of the deck. We'll flip up. Of course, when we flip up, we go get one of our 2 tough we can hold. And we'll spend 1, get our Organic Steel. We're made out of it. So that's good. We're set up. We'll just attack for 2 to take the toughness off. I'm not sure if that actually matters, and we'll hold on to Hulk. And that's it. Draw 1, 2. We only have 4 cards. Man, surprise attack. Not a good draw. Made a Rage. Medium draw. It does have overkill, so if there's a minion, and there's some big minions, Bulletproof Protector is actually kind of perfect. Actually, maybe not be perfect, because again, we're expecting to get attacked once from Enchantress, which means we'll lose our toughness, bring our toughness back. But if we're jumping down to Alter Ego, which we probably can't afford to do right away, we actually do want to have only 1 toughness, not 2. Bulletproof Protector gets so much better once you have Iron Will. This goes to 1, doesn't have text, but the villain does. So we are getting attacked for 2 and a card, and then after that we place a charm counter. So we're not going to block. As much as if you do defend, you can protect your toughness. Doesn't matter here. 1, 2, 3, 4. She has some really bad encounter cards on Expert. So we lose a toughness. We'll Organic Steal it back. And after she attacks, we get slightly charmed. 20% charmed. 1 encounter card. All right. So we do have somebody to knock out. That's good. It's Absman. 7 health is a lot. After we defeat him, though, we get our own Absman. And he's like really cool. Really friendly guy. But when Absman is engaged with you, gets +X attack where X is the printed cost, the highest cost card you control. It's the X-Jet. It's pretty big. So we're going to have to knock him out. The player defeated this searches the set aside Absorbing Man ally to play under their control, which is pretty important. So I'm glad we have a Made a Rage because we technically attack for 8. So I think we're going to start by just doing Bulletproof, play Hulk, Made a Rage. Seems good. So we'll protect. Sure. So we're going to remove a toughness. We don't draw cards, but then we'll just give ourselves 2 toughness. We'll X-Jet for surprise attack to play our friend the Hulk. So actually we could Hulk, and on average Hulk attacks for 5, and then we could defeat for 2, but then we're not doing anything with his Made of Rage. So this Made of Rage has overkill, which helps. Like, we like that. So I think we might as well just keep it. So we are going to do a basic attack for 2. We'll play Made of Rage. So we'll discard a tough status card. So we have +6 attack and overkill. So we're attacking for 8. So that's good. Because Absorbing Man takes 7, Enchantress takes 1, and this now enters the victory display, and we get our own Absorbing Man, who is pretty good. So our Absman, only 3 health, takes 2 consequential, no matter what he does. But when Absman attacks with words, exhaust and upgrade or support if you want to give him +X to that activation up to 3. So in theory, he can use the X-Chat and weaponize it. I don't think we're going to do that today because we have nothing that's not exhausted, but we're going to attack with Hulk because that's what Hulk does. So Hulk is going to attack for 3 to Enchantress. We're going to discard a physical. I told you. That's going to do 2 more damage. That's what the Hulk does. Hulk. So we got to do 2 more damage. Enchantress is taking some good damage. And we'll pass. Reasonable setup. Colossus and Miss Marvel would be a good cameo as well. Colossus and Miss Marvel. What's Miss Marvel's? Isn't Miss Marvel's the one that... Is it the one that returns events? Or is it the one that shuffles it back to your deck? I haven't played Miss Marvel in a bit. Shadowcat's also, like, fine. Bulletproof, okay. So we're going to have 1 toughness. We can make it 2. We definitely want to find our 2-cost superpower upgrades, let alone deft focus. Hand cannon for some overkill. Armor up. Bummer to draw that. We want to draw this as late as possible. And then Piotr Studio. So we could consider jumping down. And it gives us another good chance at finding an armor up on one condition or another, either thinning our deck or putting it in our hand. Goes to 3. Enchantress attacks for 2 and a card. We're not going to do anything about it. Excuse me. So 1, 2, 3, 4 on the master plan. We lose a toughness. We'll return it with... Oh, actually, hold on. Before we decide whether we return it, do we need toughness in this hand? We do, because we have a bulletproof. So we're going to lose a toughness. and just return it with Organic Steel. All right, we get 20% more enchanted. Zax. All right, we're drawing all of them. I shuffled this deck, didn't I? Not you. I've never played against the Zax encounter. When they started putting cool modular sets in the counter decks, I was like not comfortable enough with this game to be like, I'm doing my cool own stuff, but I should. I have never played against Zax or Armadillo, stuff like that. 6 health retaliate. It's been a minute, but I remember the alternate version of Zax, the friendly version of Zax, being underwhelming. When revealed, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. Oh, this is going to be very funny. For each energy resource, take 1 indirect damage. There's a big chance this totally whiffs. Physical. No. That's a bad discard. Physical. Physical. Ooh, energy. Okay, so we take 1 indirect. We can't take it. Actually, this is bad. We're not allowed to take it. If we do to Absorbing Man, he activates 1 fewer times, so I think we have to give it to the Hulk. That sucks. And of course, when we defeat Zax, we go ahead and grab our own Zax for us. Exhaust return events. Yeah, that's the one. Garrett, how's it going? Good evening. I'm guessing Colossus' sister Magic would play Hulk pretty well as well. Oh yeah, you could if you know the top of the deck. That's kind of cool. The problem is like her deck has wilds and she wants to play wilds. So it's like kind of a nombo because wilds is like, you get a lot of value really quickly, let me tell you. All right, so this is our hand. We can attack for 4 into Zax. Absman can attack. Unfortunately, Retaliate will defeat him. So one of the things we can do with Hulk is we can attack into Enchantress for 3, do 2 to Zax, and then Absorbing Man can defeat it without taking the Retaliate. That's probably the play. That leaves us entirely with our hand. We probably at this point need to thwart for 1. I think we can consider jumping down and letting her thwart, but actually it's kind of scary. But we need to shuffle Titanium Muscles back into the deck. We still have Iron Will to draw, but both of our armor ups are out. So unless we hold the armor up in our hand, actually if we hold the armor up in our hand, we can jump down. So I think that's what we do. I think we're going to attack with Hulk into Enchantress. So she'll take 3. And then this plan hinges on us discarding a physical, which we did. So now we can do damage to an enemy. This is not an attack, so we don't take Retaliate. This now means Absorbing Man can deal with her. However, Absorbing Man will exhaust our X-Jet, so we just want to make sure whether that's going to be a problem or not. Because Absorbing Man can attack for up to 4. The other option is we do Colossus and we play the Hand Cannon, which that can attack for 4. Gives us overkill and sets us up. That actually might be better. So we could do, say, yeah, it's kind of ugly. We could do X-Jet plus Bulletproof. Then we can't play Piotr Studio, so it's probably not that. I don't think we do that. Oh yeah, I need more tea. Hold on 1 second. I think we're gonna go straight to the source. It's still warm. Yeah, that's necessary. Yeah, that sucks. So I think we're going to use Absman, and then we'll just thwart pitifully for 1. Because that means we can play Piotr Studio, we can get ourselves another toughness, which is actually not super necessary because we're jumping down. Oh no, it is, because we don't have our organic steels. And then we can keep armor up. Yeah, I think we will do that. Will we? We play Piotr's, Piotr's draws a card, we have an extra card, we can play Bulletproof to get a thing. Absman attacks for 4, we have armor up. Yeah, that's fine, that's acceptable. All right, so we're gonna attack with Absorbing Man. We're going to exhaust the X-Jet. So he attacks for 4, we defeat Zax. We get our own Zax. I didn't think we'd have this many allies this fast. So response, after Zax enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a card with an energy icon. Come on. There's no way this hits. I think 2 of our energy cards are already in the bin. So add it to our hand. Okay, I don't think this works. Physical, physical, physical. Oh, sick. Energy. Okay, that was awesome. Let alone we had 2 energy cards. So we can decide to take Def Focus, which is a super important setup card, or we can take the double. The double doesn't set up that well besides Hand Cannon, so I think we just take Def Focus because it's very, very important for our deck. Thanks, Zax. That was actually pretty awesome. And you can thwart for 3. This is a really good turn. 1 second. Okay. So we still have 5 cards in hand somehow. We'll just use Zax to thwart for 3. Wait, are we jumping down? Goes down to 2 health. It's actually really good at thwarting. I don't think we jump down anymore. Oh no, we have armor up. We can jump down. So if that's the case, we can play Bulletproof Protector. So we remove a toughness to give ourselves a toughness. The ready doesn't really matter. Okay. We can pitch the hand cannon to play Piotr Studio. This is now hedging on us drawing a card we don't want because we want to play Death Focus, but we need to keep the armor up. I think we'll jump down to hero mode, or sorry, alter ego mode. When we do that, we can shuffle a card from our discard pile back into our deck. I think we're really incentivized to shuffle back in Titanium Muscles, so we will. And then after this in a second, we're going to be discarding cards. Ideally, we just draw something we don't care about, like one of our events, because we're going to have to probably not keep it. Okay, so we'll discard cards. Limitless, Helicarrier, Strength, Spider-Man, Savage. We're going up pretty deep. Steel Fist. Okay, that's perfect. So we lost a lot of cards. We lost a lot of research, like resources. Our deck is like 7 cards left. We know there's no armor ups left, so we have to do the thing we have to do. But at least we can do Steel Fist for Deft Focus, which sets us up. I'm using not the thematic art, but the art that was available at the time Colossus came out. And then we'll just recover for 4, which puts us at full health. We'll pass. All right, so far so good. She's been taking consistent damage. Being attacking for 5 every turn really helps. And we'll hold on to this, which is our basically get out of jail free. We have one too many toughnesses, actually, so it might have been right not to play, I'm realizing in hindsight, not to play the Bulletproof Protector, because we lose the toughness we would get when we jump up. So actually, there's a big chance that that was incorrect. I think I have to like slow down and think about that a bit more, because we get a free toughness if we jump up and jump down. So we're going to waste that one. Anyways, we'll hold on to this. We could technically let her scheme for, if we get a 3 boost, we advance. Let's not. We're not very good at thwarting. 1, 2, drop kicks. Nice. Lockjaw. Okay. Iron Will, that's perfect. That's her most important card. It's also superpower, which is really nice to get your upgrades a bit cheaper when you're setting up. Limitless Stamina and Organic Steel. Okay, so that's really good. So the bottom 3 cards of our deck, one of them is our one that generates 2 physicals. So now actually we have to make a decision here. I think these cards, there's probably only one Colossus card, and we could grab it consistently with Piotr Studio. So there's a chance we want to just stay down here and say Zax will fix it. If that's the case, we stay down, we can get another card. Otherwise, we have to armor up and we lose one of our toughnesses, which I honestly think we stay down here. If we draw 3 boosts, we draw 3 boosts. If we draw an advance, we draw an advance. It's not the end of the world, but I think we're going to take a little risk here and choose to stay down. She schemes. 2 in a card, 3 boost. Just like that. So she schemes for 5, this cracks. So we took a risk. There's a whole bunch of 3 boosts off of all the minions, or not even all the minions, some of the minions. So bad thing happened. Sovereign Sorceress. I think she gets her crown here. If the Crown of Enchantress is in play, stun each identity. Otherwise, search and counter deck for the Crown and Enchantress and reveal it. Now, I don't know if the Crown of the Enchantress fires here, because we're technically at the end of a thwart activation, and the Crown of Enchantress fires during a thwart activation. So I don't know if this fires. We also reveal it, and it has text. Expert text. She gains Stalwart, so much for something confusing. It says after Enchantress schemes against you, place 1 charm counter in the enchantment. Like, I don't know if this fires now, because we technically drew it during the resolution of a thwart, or during a scheme. So I'm not sure if it should fire. Do you lose a toughness because the effect that says you could have 2 of them is only on your hero side? Holy shit, I never thought about that. Whoa. I don't think I've ever thought about that. Technically, that's fine. I don't think that ever matters, because all the cards that interact with 2 toughnesses are attached to your hero side. But yeah, good catch. I guess then we did waste it. Like, we genuinely, obviously wasted it. Neat. Good catch. That's actually really interesting. Yeah, you lose the extra tough jumping down. I think we might have messed that up last game, but not in a way that's important, because it usually isn't. Anyways, I'm going to rule that this crown works the worst way. And we're going to give ourselves another Hypnotic Gaze. It's fun to get Hypnotic Gazed. So that's fine. We flip this over. This one's the last one. So if this one pops, we lose. This says 1 threat, comes in with 2 though, and when the charm counter has the same text. If you're already like enchanted, instead it puts threat here. 1 encounter card. Homesick, okay, so at least we're already down here. So give it to Piotr, either exhaust Piotr to remove this from the game or discard this card in each tough status from your identity. We would lose 1 toughness. We actually like a toughness. I'm just going to exhaust ourselves. Our activation's not super important. This will be removed from the game. All right, we're going to use the studio. So we're going to discard cards. Actually, if it decks out, in theory, we should not do this first. Because if this decks out, we want to make sure we have cards in our discard pile that we want to be in our discard pile. So the ordering here actually does slightly matter. That being said, Lockjaw we want to keep out of the discard pile. Limitless and Dropkick, I don't actually care. Thought you were doing it on purpose. No, I didn't notice. Apologies. I can very easily miss chat. So I think we're just going to rip this. Machine Man, Energy, so it's the last card. Now these cards are discarded simultaneously, so we get this. These are in the discard pile, I'm pretty sure, so we get an encounter card. But yeah, all these cards miss the cycle, which, at least for Lockjaw, that's pretty good. I think there's a chance, actually, knowing what was in the deck, we could have used Hulk first. But yeah, no, actually we can't, because if Hulk discards Titanium Muscles, we're pretty upset. Okay. Here we are. So we have a lot of setups to do. Titanium Muscles, Organic Steel, Iron Will, these are all our priorities these turns. These cards are not our priorities. So good thing we have a resource generator, 2 resource generators, plus this is a double resource generator. So all we're going to do here is flip up. Always wanted to get my hands on the alt art for Colossus. I have always wanted to get my hands on an alt art for anything. I don't know how you get them. I've never seen them in person. Local game stores don't have them. The way they're distributed is arcane. Like I have no idea how you're meant to get an alt art. But yeah, I mean, they're all really quite nice. They came in booster packs for a while, like random draw. I don't know. They're like expensive on eBay. So to get rid of this, each player exhausts their identity and takes 1 damage. No, we found the cursed interaction again. We can't take a damage if we're tough. So we can't get rid of this Crown of the Enchantress until we lose all our toughness. You hate to see it. We're going to use the X-Jet. We're going to use Depth Focus. And we're going to go play Titanium Muscles. Yeah, this take a damage ruling is really annoying when it comes to toughness. So we get +1 attack. It's nice. And then we can exhaust this to generate 2, which we immediately will. And we'll play Iron Will. This gives us +1 thwart. And after we lose the toughness, we can draw a card. Then we'll go ahead and play Lockjaw. Goes into his own bin. And I guess, yeah, Dropkick's not that good because she's stalwart. And armor up. We'll play Organic Steel. So this is 2 more toughnesses, which represents 2 more card draw. Okay, we're going to play Limitless Stamina for our last card. This just readies us. So, in theory, Absman can attack for 3. Zax can thwart for 3, which is useless. I will think we'll just thwart for 2. We'll keep Zax for side schemes. Hulk is going to do a little risky thing because Hulk in theory can knock out Absorbing Man if we draw it improperly here. And our Wild is still in the deck, so a bit of a chance here. So he'll attack Enchantress for 3. And then we discard the top card. This is what I talk about. This is where it's bad. When you deck out, this gets a bit bad. So we have to deal 1 damage. If that card's printed resource is this, so it's not per printed resource. So we have to deal 1 damage to each character. So while Enchantress takes 1, yay. Zax takes 1, which doesn't matter. Absorbing Man is defeated, so we could have activated with Absman first. Wait, is Hulk defeated here? I guess Hulk is defeated. We take 1 damage, so we lose a toughness, which means we draw a card. The Limitless. I mean, I'm fine drawing, and we'll replace the toughness, I guess. That sucked. Cool. I won't hold on to Limitless and we'll pass. Actually, let's not replace it. Yeah, the replacement is not attached to the card draw, but I think we want to get rid of this crown to remove her stalwart. So I'm not going to replace the toughness because if she attacks us, we'll just lose the toughnesses. Because I think now we have only 1 armor up in the deck. Like maybe we can jump down. We have 2 encounter cards this turn though, so maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. We'll find out. Machine Man. Strength, nice. Genius, good to know where those are. Bulletproof Protector, so we kind of want a toughness for that. Martial Pro, oh, sorry, only 4 card hand. We'll shuffle that. Yeah, Bulletproof Protector is weird because it definitely wants toughness, so it's maybe not a good draw. It's a really good Machine Man hand though, because we have a lot of extra resources. feel bad losing Absorbing Man. Very valuable. All right, this goes to 1. Enchantress is attacking for 2 and a card. We'll just take it. 1, 2, 3. Spellbound. We lose a toughness, which draws a card. Another bulletproof protector is pretty suspect. It's not very good here. Obviously, we need a toughness for this to do anything. Enchantress could attack us again, but we have 14 health, so that's not a huge concern. Our hand is almost entirely garbage. This is very much like a Lockjaw hand. So I think that's okay. And then we get Hypnotic Gaze. We won't replace the toughness. I think the issue is like we have no way to get toughnesses if we don't have toughnesses. So not taking the toughness here and committing to getting rid of this is like a pretty big cost. I think we'll try it because it's interesting. Encounter card, Enthralled Brute. All right, so this doesn't get the worst. It has guard. It only gets bigger because if we're enthralled, it has +3 hit points. So it's 4 hit points and guard. So it is still rough, and we have no extra damage in our hand. Enthralled Lackey. Okay, this one actually can be a problem because this one can make us enthralled. I think it does always make us enthralled. So it has Quick Strike, so it's attacking us for 3. After this minion attacks, you place 1 charm counter in the enchantment, so it looks like we're getting enchanted, which means the Enthralled Brood is going to get more health. This is not good. This is really not good. Yeah, Machine Man is exactly the new Absorbing Man. So Lackey is attacking us for 1. Luckily, we don't waste the toughness to this, so that's kind of cool. So we'll just take it. So we take 1 damage. After, place a charm counter on the enchantment. So now Hypnotic Gaze pops off, which means there's some repercussions. There are 5 or more counters. Remove here and flip this over. France agreed. Oh, this one's really fun. This one's going to be really difficult. This one forces us to play cards. The issue is we have a bunch of cards that require toughness to be playable, or we have cards that you just can't play because they're responses. So when revealed, you are confused, otherwise take 2 damage. I always forget to read that text the way it should be. But this is a forced action. So we have to exhaust this card, draw a card, then play that card if you cannot take 1 damage. This is going to be a really interesting interaction point, not only because take 1 damage really sucks if you have toughness, but because of everything else with our kind of cards that aren't always playable. Notably, also the Enthralled Brute now gets +3 hit points, so she has 7, which is a lot. That's an absurd amount. All right, it's cool that there's scaling that cares about when you draw these things. All right, hear me out. I think we just do the Trance of Greed and see what happens. So we'll exhaust this, draw a card. I can't play this because it's an interrupt, right? Like this doesn't work. I'm pretty sure this doesn't work because I can't play this card. It has to be a response. So I think we just take a damage. Yeah, this says play it. We can't because it has a something. Heroic Aggression Colossus, it's sometimes good to have an invulnerability and face the past against some villains. Sorry? Heroic Aggression Colossus is sometimes good to have an invulnerability. Like the card, the 3-cost card? Really? It has a physical on it, but that's a really expensive toughness. Okay. So good news, bad news. Bad news, most things. Good news is we have the way to deal with the Brute. That's kind of cool. Oh yeah, it's a superpower. Yeah, that's okay. Wouldn't you just rather play a minion? Like an ally? Okay, so we have access to Machine Man and Lockjaw. Those are our things we can do with all our resources. Machine Man can attack for up to 4, which is good because he can also use the X-Jet. We have no playable superpowers that can use the cost reducer. So I think we do that. I think we have to Savage Strike Enthralled Brute. And then I think we Machine Man Enthralled Lackey, and then we don't play Lockjaw. Which means Machine Man is 2. Machine Man attacks for 3. Ooh, it's expensive. It's expensive. It's expensive. I think we can let the Brute... No, if the Lackey attacks us now, it adds threat to the main scheme. Hope you're feeling better, Jai. I'm feeling better than I did last night, but my voice is still cooked. Hopefully your Sunday was good. The tournament last night, man, that Chris game versus the other Chris was just so good. This is useless too because we took all our toughness off, so maybe we should have played an Organic Steel. But then I guess the Lackey, we just would have drawn 1 more card. This is a weird turn. The other options, we play 4 for Lockjaw. Lockjaw and Zax can deal with the Lackey, which is not amazing. Clearing the Lackey does like thwart 1, and then we can just Savage Strike the Brute. That's the other option. That might be better. But getting Machine Man into play is also just kind of good. We do Machine Man. Machine Man with Zax can defeat Lackey using X-Jet. And then we can do Savage Strike. Actually, Machine Man can do 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no, this is good too. This is better. We'll do this. We'll use Strength, play Machine Man. So when Machine Man activates, you can spend resources to give him plus to the stats. Android type. Don't know who this character is. We will do a basic attack against Enthralled Brute, and then we'll do 1, 2, 3 for Savage Strike. So we're attacking for 9 with Piercing, so the Brute's knocked out. Feels so naked without any of her toughness. Then Machine Man's going to activate. It's going to attack for 1. We're going to spend 2, and then 3 from X-Jet. So attacking for 3, defeating the Lackey. So reasonable recovery. Again, none of this stuff does anything. We can draw so many cards that don't do anything. Can we get rid of the crown? I think we can. Either player exhausts their identity. Okay, no, we can't. And then we'll pass. Draw 4. 1. Martial Prowess, not super useful. Made a Rage. Again, these cards are useless. We need to find a window to jump down. She has Toughness because Mockingbird's not good, and Dropkick is not good because of the Stalwart. Not Toughness, Stalwart. This goes to 2. She attacks for 2 and a card. Now, every time that she attacks, or more accurately, every time that she tries to put a enthralled thing on us, it just adds a threat to the scheme, which is kind of frightening because this loses us the game. So she's attacking here for 2 and a card. We probably just take it because it's just probably like 5 damage and we have a lot of health. Again, we need to find a window to jump down, and we also need to be ready to get rid of this. So I think we're just going to take it. 1, 2. Oh, Assault, nice, 2 damage. And then 1 threat goes here. 1 counter card, and mind you, I was going to say that was a big encounter card turn because we did deck out, but we're back with a 7 health card. It only schemes for 1, right? Crisp was great. Analyze Chris' elimination game was nutty as well. I saw a bit of it. I didn't watch it with sound on because I was hanging out with my partner, but I know it was like no cards in hand, super aggressive, score out. I think I mentioned seeing a video of you playing like 10 years ago on YouTube at an event. Probably 10 years ago lines up, but it must have been Netrunner, right? All right, I think we just Trance of Greed and see what happens. So we draw a card. We can't play Surprise Attack. We have a lot of cards we can't play. That's really unfortunate because this is a response, so we have to take a damage. So we are getting hurt. Okay. So what do we have here? Zax can clear this. We can get rid of the crown. I think we do. And I think we'll just let everyone scheme out a bit. So we will exhaust ourselves and take a damage. We'll get rid of this thing. So she loses Stalwart. So she still has Steady. So, I mean, maybe Steady is the same as Stalwart here. Honestly, it's feeling about the same. We have no superpowers that are worth playing. When we jump down, we can put 2 armor ups in a relatively medium deck. I would say a 60% chance to get a hit off Fibes math. We probably can just Dropkick, which draws a card, and see what happens. So we'll do 1. We have to play only physicals, so we'll do X-Jet. Made a Rage. No, can't do that. We'll do Martial Prowess, and we'll play Dropkick. Oh, this has Guard. I guess we're Dropkicking this thing. It has Guard, I forgot. So deal 4 damage to an enemy. So Enthralled Brute goes down to 3 from 7. We stun it, and we played only physicals, so we draw a card. I mean, Stunning Curse is not the worst. Helicarrier. Okay. One of my D&D buddies in my group is a Netrunner player. Not hardcore, but used to watch events at the LGS store computer. I saw it there. Oh, yeah, that's probably it. That was the time where we started making like tournament play stuff, and that was a good time. Okay, now this hand is entirely unplayable unless we jump down. We can just knock out the Enthralled Brute. So we can attack for 1, 2, 3. We can hold on to... We can also Piotr Studio to Mockingbird Enchantress, but yeah, the stun doesn't matter. So I think we have to jump down here and hope for the best. We just need to get our toughness engine back on because it bottomed out trying to get rid of that silly crown. So I think if there's going to be a card we hold, it might be Mockingbird, but that seems kind of strange. So we're going to attack with Machine Man. So we're going to attack for 1, 2, 3, knocking out the Brute. So we already wasted 14 damage on not the Enchantress. We'll just use Zax to clear this. Gets defeated. Removed from the game. We will hop down. We'll do our alter ego response here. So we can shuffle a card from our kit back into the deck. The safe thing would be to shuffle in an armor up, which puts 2 armor ups into our relatively small deck. We found most of the things we want here. We do need a deck out sooner than later. The problem is we have to do Piotr Studio after this. I honestly think we do Piotr Studio because it could thin our deck out. Because finding an armor up here is like relatively important because we're not very good at thwarting, but we're pretty good at taking attacks to the face with toughness. So we will Piotr Studio just to thin our deck. We also want to get through our deck because we want to find our Hulk once more time. So we're going to exhaust this and discard cards until we find a Steel Fist, turns out. All right, that's not playable. Neither is Mockingbird, so I think we have to discard both of these because we just want to draw into an armor up for safety, and we'll pass. The original ready for a fight. Draw 6. Dropkick. Big damage, big stun, Spider-Man. Good thwarting. Surprise attack, super playable. Steel Fist, haven't found it yet, but an armor up, it's right there. That's awesome. And then we have a Shadow Cat, so pretty good. All physicals besides 1. Not a bad hand. I think it's going to turn around a fair bit. So this goes to 1. Enchantress would attack us, but of course we will armor up. So when they would activate, we'll jump to hero form, which gives us a toughness. And now she's attacking us instead. So attacking for 2 and a card. 1, 2. 3 on gang up. We lose the toughness, we'll replace it with Organic Steel. We draw a card. Savage Strike. It'd be really nice to get our bulletproof protectors back in, because that's the only way we can go plus toughness. Do my bidding. What is this? When revealed, if your identity has the Defiant trait, choose one of your identity has the Enthralled trait, do it both. So we have to do both of these, because we are very much enthralled. Search the counter deck and discard pile for a minion and reveal it. Search the counter deck and discard pile for a side scheme and reveal it. Okay. Luckily, we're going to be pretty good at defeating a minion here. We're not going to be amazing at dealing a side scheme. Shadowcat can do it, so I guess we're going to have to go into the tank and figure out what we want to do here. You can do them in any order, so that's interesting. In terms of the minions we want to get out of the deck, it's Titania. Ozak should be in the victory display. Titania is an option because she becomes one of ours. So not you. You do look a fair bit different, I gotta say. But this Titania has 8 health overkill. The player defeats this minion, grabs the other Titania. I'm assuming she's good. The only other option, we've seen Zax, Titania, and Whirlwind. Whirlwind is really good at clearing side schemes. Because I think Whirlwind has really interesting text. After Whirlwind attacks, you take 1 indirect damage for each side scheme, and then the other Whirlwind removes threat for each side scheme. And we're going to have a side scheme in play for sure. I think we're going to go for Whirlwind. Oh, he has Quick Strike, though. I guess we're going to go for Titania. So we reveal her. She doesn't have any when revealed text, so she's just going to come in with 8 health, which we can deal. We're prepared for that. This is the pile. And then we have to search for a side scheme. I think there's some that are worse than others. Oh, we didn't put 1 threat here, which we were meant to because she attacked us. I'm not sure why I'm shuffling that just yet. Side schemes we can get. Spellbound, when defeated, each player who is the Defiant puts a charm. Each player who's enthralled discards a card they control. Not my favorite. It's only 4 threat. So that is something. When revealed, discard cards from the top of the counter deck until a enthralled minion is discarded. That's on Law of Attraction. There's not that many enthralled minions left in the deck, let alone they're pretty big. What else we have? Same thing. Ooh. Can it be anything? This says allies cannot thwart the scheme or defend against the villain's attacks. In expert mode, this card gains hinder. I think we'll do Puppet Master. Do my bidding says search and counter deck and discard pile for a side scheme. It doesn't care whose it is. Okay, cool. So we'll do that. So this is Puppet Master. Really good art. Comes in with 3 because we're playing on expert. We don't often see that text. That's neat. And so allies cannot thwart the scheme or defend against a villain's attacks. That's totally acceptable for us. And that's it. So with Savage Strike, we attack for 9. So that's good. We have to do Trance of Greed. This is the issue, is if we do Trance of Greed, we lose our toughness usually. And when we lose our toughness, it's pretty bad. At least we have a toughness so we can play some of the cards off the top. Okay. So let's figure this out. This is getting pretty complicated. Oh, we could have done a surprise attack when we jumped up. We missed that window. That's totally fine. This card we can only play when we jump up, which doesn't really change much. Doing 4 damage to Enchantress doesn't really matter. And we have to thwart this for 2. Hopefully we have a cheap ready. Yeah, we're not actually guaranteed to clear that. That might have been a mistake because allies cannot thwart this. So maybe we get, oh, we don't have the quick strike guy because we decided not to get him. Okay, we'll figure something out here. Okay, I think we're gonna do Trance of Greed and Hope. If it whiffs, we lose a physical resource, so I think we have to use our muscles first. So we will attack for 3. Titanium muscles will generate 1, 2, 3. We'll do Savage Strike. We're attacking for 9 with Piercing. That will knock out Titania, which means we trade her in to get our own. This is ours. 5 health, linked, overkill and piercing. I mean, that's fine. She thwarts for 2, which is really good. Problem is she can't thwart this. And we're exhausted, so we're just going to draw another encounter card. Maybe that was a bad draw. Maybe that was not right. Okay, so we'll do Trance of Greed here and Hope. So we have to reveal the top card. It's playable. We legally have to play this. We have to play this. It's Yarnbjorn. Fine. It's about time we played it. So I guess we'll pitch Dropkick for Yarnbjorn. So now we can spend physicals whenever we attack to do more damage. Okay, we jumped up, so we actually can jump down, and our deck is really thin, so this is a really good armor up angle. So I actually think we're kind of comfortable here. The problem is we didn't draw any of the readies, so we can't clear this, but I still think we jump down. We also can play Shadowcat if we do Piotr Studio. We just have to get lucky that we don't find the armor up, but we're allowed to play one of these allies. It'll probably be Shadowcat because she doesn't have a physical. So we'll jump down because our jump up was attached to, oh no, but then we can't use X-Jet. Beans. So actually we'll use X-Jet to play Yarnbjorn and keep our Dropkick. Because X-Jet is only for an X-Men, and we're not an X-Men when we're in Alter Ego. And we're going to have to play a card in Alter Ego, because this hand is kind of weird. All right, we'll jump down with Colossus. We'll use his Alter Ego text to shuffle one of our cards back into our deck. It's going to be the armor up, unless we have one still in the deck. We have one in the deck. Oh, so we can pick anything here. Anything, you say? Bulletproof Protector is really good. I think it's Bulletproof Protector. It just has to be one of our cards. And again, we already have 1 armor up. Actually, we could do 2 armor ups. That might be fine because I think the issue here is we have to use Piotr Studio. And if we find the armor up, we can't play one of our allies. So I'm going to put the second armor up in here. Obviously, it's not perfect. We're also not going to deck out, so we can jump down and do this again next round. But we'll shuffle this, and then we'll start discarding cards until we find one that's ours. Made a Rage. Okay, so the 2 armor ups was useless. But then we'll do 1, 2, 3. We'll play Shadowcat. Oh, not you. And she will thwart for 2 off the main. Okay, we won't use Titania anytime soon. And we won't use Machine Man. We are not going to deck out, so this is fine. We'll pass. Things are okay. Complicated, but okay. Always love when aggression is played like this, methodically and control. Would love to see gameplay where Ant-Man for another day. Always interesting seeing triple changers. Man, I really like Ant-Man so much. As much as Wasp, I don't like that much. But like playing, yeah, I guess you can call it control aggression is really fun. I'm not a big fan of just like aggression for the sake of aggression, like get down to 0 as much as possible. Because you like to play your engine, right? Everyone likes their engine. There's the armor up. Organic Steel, it's perfect. Combat Training, a bit excessive. Hand Cannon, we have 2 more cards. A second armor up. And Limitless Stamina. So the only issue is that there's only 1 card left. So if we choose to draw with Iron Will, we will deck out. That's not the end of the world, but we'll be drawing 3 encounter cards here. And on top of that, we will not be able to jump down and do the guaranteed armor up, which I think we want to do just because it's good and fun. So I think we might ignore the card draw because Iron Will is not a forced response. It's optional. This goes to 1. Enchantress is going to attack us. We'll armor up. So we flip up. We get our second toughness. She's attacking for 2 in a card. We don't care. 1, 2. Boost Kiss of Temptation. Attach to your identity. These forced cards, you need to get rid of them because they do add up. There's no card that I think scales with the amount of cards you have. I think they're just all our independent issues. So as a forced action, we have to exhaust this to place 1 charm counter, which adds 1 threat, to draw a card and then discard a card. Otherwise, we can alter ego exhaust to get rid of this card, which we will be able to do next round. So we take no damage. We'll remove a toughness. Looking at our hand, do we steal this? I think we do. So we'll use Organic Steel to replace the toughness, but we will choose not to draw a card. Okay. Things are complicated. We draw 2 encounter cards because of the Puppet Master. Let's just make a bit more space. Whoa. First card. Assault. Okay. That's fine. Could be worse. We didn't add a threat here when she attacked us, so she's going to attack us. So 2 in a card. We have the second toughness. We cannot defend the villain's attack, so we're going to have to take it to their face. There is a world where we use Machine Man here because it saves us a resource. Notably, the weird Chance of Greed is going to find and discard this card, which is a Steel Fist, which we want to make sure that is playable because that will happen sooner than later. Actually, Chance of Greed is going to be really annoying. Wait, Chance of Greed is an issue. Chance of Greed is going to stop this deck out idea. So I think we actually are going to draw cards because we have to fire Chance of Greed. And we do know what this card is because we have perfect information. And if we draw this, we have to be able to play it because we can't pass our turn until we do this. Which means there's no way that we don't deck. Yeah, I think we have to deck out. So she's attacking for 1-2. Advance. So we take 2 damage, lose a toughness. We can't replace it, but we'll choose to draw, which means we get another encounter card. Yeah, maybe that's wrong. She puts 1 threat here. Yeah, maybe that was wrong. Maybe we want to deck out a knock at the encounter card. It's too late now. Is it? Maybe we, I don't know. Drawing the 3rd encounter card here is probably not the worst. Our board state's pretty equipped to deal with encounter cards. Next card. Hey, that's good. Well, he has Quick Strike, so less good. So, not you. Usually it is you, let's be honest. 6 attack, or sorry, 6 health, Quick Strike. After Whirlwind attacks, you take 1 indirect damage for each side scheme in play. So he's attacking for only 1. Unfortunately, it removes our toughness, and then we have to take an indirect. I just want to check, does Puppet Master say that we can't block anything or only the villain's attacks? Can't defend against the villain's attack. So in theory, we could put somebody in the way of this. We did just deck out, so it's a bad time to do it. So unfortunately, we only have 1 ready. We need to get rid of Puppet Master ourselves, which means we need a thwart for 2, limitless stamina, thwart for 2. So we can't be exhausted here. I mean, that sucks. I think we just take it. Yeah, unfortunately. After Whirlwind attacks you, so she's going to attack for 1. We'll take 1 damage. Draw a card. We take an indirect damage. We're going to take it to our face. That was not a good turn, I think. Okay. It's getting worse. We mentioned we had to be ready, which summons this. Yeah, we probably should not have decked out. And then we draw Law of Attraction, which is going to get us a minion sooner than later. So acceleration, 2 threat, when revealed. Oh, when revealed, discard cards until you get an enthralled minion. So we might get a Quick Strike 1. Oh, Syndra's not enthralled. There's only 1 Quick Strike Lackey left, right? Yeah, this one. Ouch. She attacked us twice. This should be a 4. How are these turns so bad? And I think the answer is we drew way too many encounter cards. All right, enthralled Lackey, Quick Strike. So at least we lost our toughness, let's say. So attacking for 1, we'll take it. And then we have to put a charm counter here. So we're at 5. Things are bad. Things are not good. I also like Ant-Man and not much of Wasp-Man. Forced actions are a neat new thing. I wonder if some hero cards in the future will have this built in. I'm looking at you, Hulk. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a cool way to add restrictions or some, like, you know, you don't have the full control, which I think can be quite fun. Okay, the good thing is, if we defeat Whirlwind, the Whirlwind that we get, okay, it's not that Whirlwind, but the Whirlwind that we get has this text. When Whirlwind attacks, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. For each threat removed this way, he gets +1 attack. That's perfect because it means we can clear Puppet Master ourselves. So our goal this turn is actually just to remove Whirlwind from the game. I think we should start with Trance of Greed to see what happens because it's fun. We are getting a bit knocked up here. Knocked around. So we have to play drop kick. All right, who are we drop kicking? Does 4 damage and draws a card. I think we're just gonna knock whoever we want. So 1, armor up. The Steel Fists are useless. We'll do 3 damage. We'll hit the lad. Do we hit Whirlwind here? Yeah, I think we hit Whirlwind. Because Titania lines up here. So we'll do 3 to Whirlwind. Sorry, 4 to Whirlwind. It stuns him, which draws us a card because we only paid physicals. Oh, that's another ready. That's actually really good. Okay, so we have a lot of threat work to do. So I think we're going to attack for 3. Yeah, actually, check this out. We'll attack for 3 into Enthralled Lackey, destroying it. And now we can use Yarnbjorn, which says when you attack, spend a physical. So I guess we'll just throw out, I don't think we're going to play this combat training anytime soon. So we deal 2 damage to an enemy, which knocks out Whirlwind. When Whirlwind is knocked out, is removed from the game. So the deck is actually really thin, but now there's fewer minions in it. It's only like 7 cards left, maybe 6. We get our own Whirlwind, which is a really good time to get him. Where you are. Oh, we're out too many ally slots. So hold on. Before we do that, I guess we should Machine Man for 1. We're going to play this. We're going to play this. You want to play all these cards, honestly. Will Machine Man for 1? Well, Machine Man for 1. We should have blocked with Machine Man on one of these attacks. Yeah, I forgot our ally slots are a problem. So before we knock out this by attacking, we will Machine Man, because we want to do Limitless Stamina to clear this. This Limitless Stamina, we can play the... Yeah, I think we just do for 1, honestly. I think our resource is more is better use. So we'll just do 1 into this. Then we play Whirlwind. That's really cool text. I think actually there's a chance we're knocking out. Last try, I swear. There's a chance we're going to be knocking out Enchantress. And I don't think... maybe not. So we're going to now attack with Whirlwind. Takes 1 consequential. When Whirlwind attacks, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. That's so cool. So attacks for 3 damage into Enchantress. She's still alive. But we removed a whole bunch of threat. So we can do Death Focus for Limitless Stamina. We're coming back. We can ready ourselves. Oh, we're confused. Okay, so good thing we have 2 of these. We will thwart for 2, getting rid of the confused. I forgot about that. And then we're going to just pitch hand cannon. So I guess we could have done 1 more damage with our friend Machine Man. We'll Limitless Stamina us to ready ourselves again, and we'll clear Puppet Master. Oh yeah, we really messed that up. Okay, so instead of attacking for 1, we're going to clear Law of Attraction with Machine Man. Yeah, that's not right. So Villain recovers 1. Yeah. That was a break point. Okay. I don't think we want to advance Enchantress when our turn's over. We have to do this unless we want to jump down. If we jump down, we want to find an armor up, but actually maybe we don't. Maybe we'll just be happy. We have 1 armor up in the deck. We can shuffle the other one in. It'll give us another card, which is not good enough to do anything with this, but I do think we want to get our toughnesses, so we're encouraged to jump down. If that's the case, we will Titania and Shadowcat to overthwart. We will flip down. Alter Ego will shuffle the armor up back into the deck using our Alter Ego text. And then we'll use Piotr's to discard, because all we want to do here is find the armor up for safety. I just discovered peanut butter filled salted pretzel bites today, lol. It's been a day. Your life is now messed up. I'm sorry, Mathafer, because I also at one point in my life discovered them. Let me tell you about them. You can get them from No Frills or Maxi here in Quebec. You can get them from Costco, and the Costco one you get a lot more. They're very good. Unfortunately, they have a lot of sodium, but they're high in protein. I'm a vegetarian, so like protein maxing is something I have to watch out for. But they're very good. Unfortunately, incredibly way too good. I actually can't buy them because I know the more I buy them, the more I will eat exclusively them and feel unwell. You brought a problem up to someone who has a problem. I don't think you knew that. I have to keep shuffling. The armor up was on top. Oh, good catch. We didn't have an issue there. So this retcon is totally acceptable. You're totally right. They say they do not count towards your ally limit. Very cool. I got them at Costco. I hit my goal weight. I'm like, oh no. Yeah. You can get them in Costco. My sister gets them at Costco. And they're very good. They're very, very good. I think the ones at Costco are made in Canada. The ones from No Frills are made in the States, which do as you will with that. All right, we're going to Piotr's. Discard Mockingbird. Discard Genius. We got a Bulletproof Protector. So unfortunately, we can't do anything with that. We'll get rid of our little smooch while we can. And so I think we're going to hold on to Organic Steel. We're probably going to chump block with Shadowcat here because I want to preserve our 1 toughness for this Organic Steel, which means actually if we keep both of these, we can draw 2, but we really need to draw our armor up. I guess if we don't, it's fine. We have all these allies who thwart to some extent. So I think we'll actually hold on to these and pass. Might be wrong. 1, 2, 3. Damn. Okay, never mind. I was right. 4, 5, 6. So we have the armor up if we want to play it to get out of jail. The only issue is we want to stay down here because we want to recover. We are a bit banged up. But also if we jump up into our toughness, we need to preserve the toughness because we have the toughness, we can play this. And also we want to play this for free with Titanium. So I think we actually do block with Shadowcat here. Well, armor up. 2 battle. Gain a toughness. Enchantress is attacking us for 2 and a card. We will block with Shadowcat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shadowcat's knocked out. We add 1 threat to the scheme. Should be at 1 already, so it's at 2. Counter card, please don't attack us. It's Ulik, who has a pretty striking frame break. In expert mode, Ulik gets toughness. I mean, you do you, bud. Voice response, after a player deals any amount of damage to Enchantress, Ulik attacks that player. Man, the frame break on this is really good. When defeated, Enchantress attacks the player who defeated Ulik and gets +1 for that attack. Love it. Really fun text. Okay, so we have a guy. Titania has piercing, I'm pretty sure. So overkill and piercing. And notably, Enchantress only attacks when you defeat Ulik. However, whenever you attack Enchantress, Ulik attacks you. So it's not the same clause. You can always hurt Ulik, and she only cares if he dies. You're allowed to punch him, that's fine. Defeating him, though, she gets upset. So that's okay. Let's do our stuff that we said we're going to do. So first play Bulletproof Protector, which we haven't had a good shot with this one. So we remove a toughness to add another toughness, which means because we removed a toughness with Iron Will, we draw a card. We have a surprise attack, unplayable, feels bad. Now we can generate 2 with Titanium Muscles, which has been sitting idle for a while because of the way that we've been deciding to play this. And then we either can do a drop kick, which is not super great. So I think we'll just play the Organic Steel to get our engine ready. Okay, and I think we're going to be able to knock out Ulik in a really nice way with Yarnbjorn. Oh, it's a superpower. That's fine. That is actually not fine, because we could have made this cheaper. Do we have a 2-cost attack we're going to play? Yeah, let's not use Titanium. We'll use Deft Focus and this surprise attack, because it is a superpower. All right, we'll do this last, I think. It'll be fine. I like how thematically he wants to protect Enchantress. That's a really cool theme. Shout out to Bespoke Scenarios. You hear some Civil War commentary. Titania. It's going to attack. Piercing and overkill. So she takes 2 consequential, but she attacks for 3. Knocking Ulik down for 2. Oh. So unfortunately, I thought we were going to do something really cute here, but we can't. Because Yarnbjorn says it's a response. So if we attack Enchantress, Ulik will attack us first before we can fire Yarnbjorn. Because if we attack Enchantress, then the force response happens before response. So Ulik will attack us before we can Yarnbjorn to defeat him. So I thought we were going to do something really cool here. We unfortunately can't. That's fine. We'll just attack for 3, defeating Ulik. Doesn't go to the victory display, so this Brute Troll will be coming back. Shout out to Troll subtype. Enchantress attacks the player who defeated Ulik and gets +1 for that attack. So she's attacking for 3. We'll take it. 1, 2, 3. Boost. The Alluring Call. Attach your identity. Exhaust this card. Place 1 charm counter in your play area. Place a card from your hand, reducing its resource cost by 1. Forced. Not the worst. So she attacks us for 3. We lose the toughness. We'll replace the toughness. So we draw a card. And because she attacks us, this goes to 3. Okay. Not the worst. So we still have 2 forceds to do. Taking 3x first aids into Expert 2, Heroic Enchantress help a lot for healing allies and non-protection builds. I think that's something I'm realizing in Heroic, and I think it's something I actually want to spend a day exploring. What is the name of the 3-cost card I never play? Med Team, right? Med Team came in the core set, and I barely play it. I only play it in scenarios where the healing is specifically very good. But the math on Med Team is very, very good. Like the math on Med Team, adding 6 health for 3 cost, like if you multiply that by the activations of your good allies, like this card is slow, but it is a very, very good value proposition. I never play Med Team. And for what it's worth, yeah, first aid is worse, but also easier to swallow. Like heal 2 damage from an ally. If that ally is attacking for 2 twice, like it's a 1 for 4, which, or technically a 2 for 4, like that's fine. I don't know. I never play the healing cards, but I think they are better than I think they are. And that's because allies are better. I think that's the one thing I don't like about Heroic is that allies become super, super, super important. The way that they don't have to be in Expert, but they kind of usually are in Expert, in Heroic. It really helps in campaigns. Yeah, in Expert campaigns where your health matters, that also is really, really important. Okay. So Alluring Call is 1 threat to reduce the cost of the next card we play by 1. We can knock out Enchantress here really easily by drop kicking her. We can also Steel Fist her. Phrasing. But I think we just Trance of Greed and see what happens. No, we could lose the toughness. We could lose the toughness. Alter Ego, we can get rid of this. We jumped up this turn with armor up. We have one armor up in the deck, and we can put the second one back in. So we could just continue to jump up and jump down. But I think we should advance her. VP allies who get unlocked. Yeah. Cosmo forever. All right, I'm going to do a luring call. So we add 1 here. And then we play our card, reducing its cost by 1. So we'll do X-Jet. And then we'll do Dropkick into Dropkick. So we're attacking her. So we'll deal 4 damage to an enemy. So you do this sentence by sentence. So we'll deal 4 damage to Enchantress. So Enchantress now takes 4 damage. She's defeated. So we advance. She's steady. She has toughness. When revealed, put the set aside Future of Despair into play and place 4 additional threat on it. So we have this waiting for us. Force response, same text. And now she has 18 hit points. The new change I made automatically does all that. That's really good. The Future of Despair comes in now with 6. In Expert, she gains Stalwart and cannot take damage. Okay, so this is the worst time to drop kick her, so we're going to lose half the text on it. And when revealed, place 1 charm counter on each enchantment. So we only have 1 enchantment, so this goes to 1. And she just simply cannot take damage until we clear it, which we'll be able to work on that. Dropkick, we still have text on it, which because we only play physicals, we draw a card, but unfortunately she's Stalwart, so we don't get the stun, which I probably should have seen that coming. Okay. I think I'll trance agreed here and see what happens. Oh, we did this, excuse me. So trance agreed. Can we play Helicarrier? We legally have to. So we're gonna have to play Helicarrier here, which I didn't want to. I'll do 1, 2, 3 for Helicarrier. Great, we have Helicarrier. I mean, could be worse. Because actually we can use Helicarrier. We can use the Helicarrier to generate 1 or reduce the next cost. And then Titanium Muscles, I forgot we still have. So that generates 2, and we can play Spider-Man. So this is Miles. We're going to decide to give Miles a good question. Whirlwind can attack, removing 2 threat. Attacking for 1 is pretty good. Spider-Man can thwart for 3. I'm more worried about this than this. This says that she cannot take damage, but this actually happens before tough. Any ongoing text happens before tough. So actually she cannot take damage, which means she cannot remove the tough. So we have no reason of attacking her. So I think we're going to put Spider-Man at 3 thwart, and then we'll thwart 3 off of this. And I think that's all we're going to do. I don't think we're going to whirlwind thwart for 1 for obvious reasons. And there's nothing else we can do here. We can jump down and armor up. We'll have 2 armor ups and a deck of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's pretty guaranteed, let alone Piotr Studio can make it more guaranteed. So I think we will jump down. You know the drill. Repetitive, but fun. We'll shuffle in an armor up. We'll shuffle, and then we'll immediately Piotr Studio. We're hoping to not draw an armor up, but discard as many cards that are not armor up. If we draw an armor up, we'll just keep it. 5 threat, actually, wait, that's frightening. We should not do that. That's way more important. We can lose to that. This doesn't lose. Especially because if she attacks us a couple times, we're going to add like 1 or 2 more enchantments. Because every time she attacks us, threat goes up 1. Which means like, even if you're never an alter ego, she's still like soft schemes on you every turn. All right, discard cards. Lockjaw, it's good. Savage Strike, fine. Hulk, no. Armor up, we drew armor up. Okay, so we'll just keep that. And we'll pass. We lose a toughness. Good text to remember. So we have armor up. Organic Steel's good. Made a Rage. Has Overkill, not Piercing. Second armor up. Limitless Stamina and Martial Prowess. Not the best hand. We have a Hulk. I mean, we had a Hulk. We lost a Hulk. Goes to 3. She'll attack us. We'll armor up. So we flip up. Get a second toughness. She's now attacking for 2 and a card. 1, 2. Advance. That's good to see. So this goes up 1. We lose a toughness. We'll replace it. Will we replace it? Yeah, we'll replace it. With Organic Steel, which means we draw a card. Bulletproof Protector. That's the reason why you don't replace it. I did think I added the threat here. Because we brought it down. It was at 5. We brought it down to 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I did. Counter card. Trickster Tango. I didn't realize this was an encounter. A scheme we could have got. The villain gains Stalwart. That's fine. 2 acceleration. We have to clear this. We have a lot of threat work to do. Unfortunately, we have to clear this one first. Otherwise, we can't really do much with Whirlwind. In theory, Whirlwind, we can make Whirlwind. Wait, where did the cards go? How is that an option? Where did the cards go? Oh, there we are. Whirlwind can still attack. And he removes 1 threat. So it's like he schemes for 3. Unfortunately, though, he doesn't do any damage. So we'll see if we can clear this first. It does lower his value, but what can we do? Okay. So things we want to do. We want to use titanium. So I think we'll always do titanium muscles to play organic steel. It's our only superpower, so it feels a bit wasteful. Yeah, kind of wasteful. It's the only 2-cost card, unless we want to play martial prowess, which doesn't really open up much. It's the long game play. I guess we'll do that because our hand's not using resources really well, besides maybe lockjaw. So we'll use titanium muscles to play another research generator. It's martial prowess. So this generates a physical for a attack event. We got lots of them. Okay. Then we'll do deft focus, and I don't think it matters. We'll do helicarrier for organic steel. But this gives us 2 more toughnesses in the near future. But we have mostly threat work to do here. So I think we're just going to thwart as many times as we can with Limitless. Actually, yeah, we had deft focus for your Limitless stamina. So playing this was probably not correct at all. Yeah, let's undo that. So we'll not play this because we don't need to, and just do titanium muscles for organic steel. That's fine. So we should have, yeah, this is correct because we drew a card. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, we'll thwart for 2. Question is where? She thwarts for 2, so we should clear this. So we'll do 2. Ideally, we clear this so Whirlwind's attack actually does convert. That'd be kind of sick. We will Titania for 2. She's defeated. Yeah, it's fine. That's okay. She has piercing. Let's not do that. Where did we put her? Yeah, she has piercing. Oh, that's not the right one. But yeah, we actually can use her to attack as soon as we clear the other thing. Hold on, I made a mess out of things. I actually don't know where she went. Oh, that's why, because she went in the wrong place. Good night, Marvel Champs. Good luck, bud. You got this. Can't wait to catch your next vid. Hopefully, triple chart changer. I mean, I hope. Yeah, I think the next one is like, I have to get through the roster of heroes we haven't beat a scenario with. I don't think there's a triple changer on it besides Wasp, and I've been struggling with Wasp. Bulletproof gives you a ready. Yeah, that's another ready too. I think we're just going to do multiple readies. So this is a 4. All we've done is thwart it. We'll deft focus for Limitless, which readies us. We'll thwart for 2 again. So then we can do Spider-Man. Yeah, it's slightly ugly. It's slightly ugly. Yeah, we have so much thwart work to do here. I think we're going to have to use every card we can. So we'll play Bulletproof Protector. There's probably a better ordering here. I'm just trying to figure out how to clear this with 1 threat so Whirlwind's damage can come in. But even if Whirlwind's damage comes in, Titania loses her piercing. So we will discard a tough status card, which we'll replace with Organic Steel, which draws us a card, and we'll ready ourselves. Double is not super useful. That goes there. We'll thwart for 2, which clears this. So she technically still has Stalwart because of this, but we're getting somewhere. Try Savage Strike with Wasp. Yeah, I know Boom Guy posted a deck that's like Savage Strike with her ability to divide her stuff. It's just like, no, the Wasp's cards don't excite me at all. A lot of the upgrades don't do anything. It's free real estate. Yeah, I guess so, huh? Okay. This is still us. We have Dumpster Dog to dump into, but we can now attack her. So we'll use Titania here, and before she shows herself out, she does a bit more here. So she's going to attack for 3 with Overkill and Piercing. So Enchantress will take 3 and lose the toughness. She does not come back. Then we'll do Whirlwind. Whirlwind moves 1 threat, 1 threat. So attacks for 2 damage into the villain. We still need to clear this, which Spider-Man plus... We need another ready. I thought we had another ready here. Wait a second. I thought we had another ready. What's in the bottom of our deck? We'll find out together. Is there another ready? We have 1 Limitless. This is really scary. 2 Limitless, 3 Limitless. Uh-oh. 1 Protector. 2 Protector. So we have no more readies. Could be an ally. So I think we're going to do Trance of Greed and just hope. So we're going to exhaust this. Draw a card. The funny thing is if we want to use Helicarrier on the card, we have to do it now. So I'm going to just fire Helicarrier. It says choose a player, reduce the cost of the next card you play by phase by 1. Because as soon as we draw a card with Trance of Greed, we actually can't use the Helicarrier anymore. The Helicarrier is not super useful with our hand. Maybe it'd be wasted on this because if we draw a 0-cost card, but I think it's maybe clever. So we have to play Savage Strike, which we can't. So we lose a toughness, which draws us a card. Surprise attack, we also can't play that. Okay. Luring Call, we have to use. Oh, this is bad. We have a threat issue here. None of these cards do threat. We can jump down and armor up, which means we dodge a bit, but like this is going to go up to like 7, nearly guaranteed. And this hand, very stinky. Very stinky hand, very bad. So I guess we do, when things go bad, you dumpster dog. We pay 4. Search our discard pile for the best dog, Lockjaw. All right, so at least we can clear the Trickster Tango. So Lockjaw comes in play. We can play him from a discard pile, and he will take 2, thwarting for 2. He will also miss the deck out, which is great. So this goes to 1, and we'll use Spider-Man to bring this out of the game. So she loses Stalwart. We've been trying to get all game to her, only to have Steady. Okay. This hand is not brilliant. We can't do Piotr Studio because we'll deck out, which means we can jump down, get rid of the Luring Call. We can still play the Martial Prowess, which is kind of whatever, but I think we will do that. We will X-Jet, Made a Rage, play Martial Prowess. So attack events are slightly cheaper. It does take a physical out of the deck. And we will jump down. All 3 go text. We can shuffle something in. We have the armor up guaranteed. In theory, we can discard this armor up so that we just draw a different armor up. The difference is that we draw a different card. Otherwise, we might just want to get an Organic Steel back into the deck. We're going to have a 1 threat or 1 toughness. The other option is a Bulletproof Protector back because we're assuming we're going to get attacked once. This toughness will replace itself with the steel, and then we'll only have 1 toughness. Or Bulletproof can bring that up to 2. But I think Organic Steel might be better. I think we'll shuffle Organic Steel in. And by shuffle, I mean not shuffle. Because we're just going to pass our turn after we get rid of this. We're close. We have like, actually, maybe we don't do the Organic Steel. Hold on. We should close the game. We should focus on closing the game. So instead of putting the Organic Steel up, let's go for a Made of Rage. Because as long as we don't get attacked twice, we'll have +6 attack, which means we're going to be attacking for 9. We have 10, 11, 12, 13. So we should be able to close the game off. Let's just put a Major Rage back in the deck and we'll hold on to this armor up and pass. Yeah, I don't focus enough on closing the game more than I should. And we're definitely within closing the game territory. So I'm not going to shuffle because we're going to deck out and draw both of these. So we have, oh, there's already a Made of Rage in there. Hold on, then I'm not, no, I'm still going to, no, I'm not going to shuffle it back. I'm going to shuffle back a Bulletproof Protector. Definitely should have looked at the last card. So we're going to draw these 3. We deck out. It's a total deck out. So worst time to get this acceleration. And now the advances are back in the deck. Also watch the new Silent Hill movie. It's really silly. First thing got really, really bad. They added time travel. And Mary turns into a giant spider who fights Pyramid Head. I think I only watched 1 Silent Hill film. And I might have been in high school. I've never played a Silent Hill game. So I didn't know a lot about it. But there was a lot of barbed wire. That's all I remembered. I don't remember it being that good. Okay. So we've decked out. So bad things can happen. In fact, there's an encounter card that says, because you're playing on Expert, Enchantress attacks and schemes. Which if we draw that, we probably lose because she schemes for 3. Very, very bad. I think we probably should have been focusing on just doing damage, but we had so many side schemes. I think at this point, if we just focused on damage, we probably could have ignored the side schemes and done enough damage to Enchantress. It's very likely we had enough damage if we just Savage Striked and attacked with our allies. I think in hindsight, what I was doing was silly. Oh no, that one that had 6 on it said she couldn't take damage. So we only wasted a bit. All right, 1, 2, 3. 4, combat training, not super useful. Limitless is very good. And 6 is Organic Steel. That's fine. That's it. This goes to 5 of 9. We can't let her scheme because she's trying to. So we will, of course, armor up. That jumps us into hero mode, getting our 2nd toughness. Okay, polish the table. Table's polished. She's coming in. 1, 2, 3. Choose to either place 1 charm counter on Enchantress in your card or confuse your identity. It's enthralled lackey. I think we're just going to go ahead and confuse ourselves because I can see us losing to threat. I don't think we're going to lose to confuse. So she's attacking for 3. We take no damage. This goes up to 6. We lose a toughness, which we'll immediately replace, which draws a card. We just have to survive these 2 encounter cards. One more. Law of Attraction. Okay, this gets a minion. Unfortunately, this could get the guard minion. No. When revealed, discard cards until you get an enthralled minion. The issue is that we've taken all of the special enthralled minions out of this deck, so all that's left here is the guard ones and the quick strike ones, and we just lost 1 quick strike one. So it's very likely we end up with a guard minion here that has 7 health. Let's go. 1, 2. At least that's good. We have 1 card. It's a bad one. We do have 1 card that has overkill in our hand, so maybe this is something. I mean, we're getting close, but it's slipping further and further away. So guard and has an additional 3 health. So 7 health guard is not what we wanted to see here. And then finally, we're getting attacked again. That's okay, because this draws a card. We could decide to block with a minion if we wanted to. We need toughnesses because of Made of Rage, but we are allowed to lose this 1 toughness because we have Bulletproof Protector. In theory, we could use Bulletproof Protector as a ready, but I think it's fine here. So she's attacking for 1, 2, 3. Place 1 charm counter in the enchantment area. So this goes to 8. So very important. We need to win this turn. Very important that we didn't put the threat on this thing or the enchantment counter. So we lose the toughness. We draw a card. Surprise attack has been very bad for us. Either we play 3 or we play none. They've been really bad. Okay, things are bad. We're adding 3 threat here every turn. And she's going to attack us. So we're adding 4 threat a turn. It's kind of like actually playing against Black Widow because you're functionally adding 3 a turn. We need to get through the Enthralled Brute. Made of Rage gives us overkill. So we can attack for 9 in the Enthralled Brute, which does 7 and then 2, which leaves Enchantress on 11. I thought we had a Savage Strike in our hand. We don't. So that's not great. We are confused, so I think our only option is damage. So after we knock out the Brute, she's on 11. We can attack for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have to find 2 more damage. I think we have it with the dropkick. I think we do have it. So I'd have to take a while to figure if this is right or not, but I think we start with the Bulletproof Protector. So we're going to remove a toughness, which draws a card, and we're going to give ourselves a second toughness. Oh, with second limitless stamina, I think we locked in now. So we get a second toughness. And we have Yarnbjorn. Yeah. We're totally fine here. So we're going to lose titanium muscles value unless we want to organic steel. Ooh. We're drawing more cards. Like we're actually going to draw a lot of cards here. It doesn't matter who we drop kick. So we might as well use titanium muscles when it generates 2. And we'll do Helicarrier on top of it. So we're going to do drop kick into the Enthralled Brute, which is our only target here. But the good thing is that we have overkill on Made of Rage, so any damage we do to Enthralled Brute is not lost. So we're going to do 4 damage to her. She goes from 7 to 3. We only played physical, so not only was she stunned, we draw a card. So we drew another limitless stamina. We're fine. Did you draw a card from losing an attack? I think we did. I think I really did. But we're going to draw so many extra cards here. We should be fine. All right, then we're going to attack for 3. We're going to Made of Rage it. Yeah, we have a lot of damage this turn. So we're going to lose a tough status card, which we could replace if we wanted to. I don't think we will, which draws us a card. Nice, Shadowcat. So we're attacking for 9. So 3 goes into the Brute, 6 goes into Enchantress. Brute is defeated. Now we have to figure out what does the most damage. Every 2 resources can easily be 2 damage, so I think we just send everything we have. Yeah, I think to figure out the max damage, it would take me a second, so I think we're just going to discard cards and have fun. So I'm going to throw out Surprise Attack, because we did attack, so Yarnbjorn can fire. So we're going to do 2 more damage to Enchantress. Down to 5. I will use Whirlwind for 1 last activation here. Whirlwind sucks up 1 of these, and then attacks for 2 into Enchantress. Enters the victory display. Lockjaw and Spider-Man both attack for 2. So 4 into the villain. She's defeated, but that hasn't ever stopped us. We will Deft Focus for limitless stamina. That readies us. We will attack for 3. It actually might have been right to put down the combat training, because I think the combat training represents like 3 or 4 damage. Maybe it'll be more if we just discard it. So we're going to attack to 3 into her. We can, where did it go? I lost it. It's fine. We'll throw out combat training to Yarnbjorn to do 2 more damage. Mind you, Yarnbjorn does not exhaust, so it's just 2 damage every time you want to attack. We will then, I don't know, X-Jet for limitless stamina. We'll attack again for 3. We'll discard a physical. Shadowcat does 2 more. We will limitless stamina 1 more time. We'll attack for 3. Did we do that much damage? And then I guess we have to do Trance of Greed. We probably can't play it, but it draws a card. Yeah, that's a funny thing, because if we do this, actually, we should have done this first, because this pops our toughness, which draws a card. So these are both in our hand, which means that we could have Yarnbjorned 1 more time there at the end. Okay. Went from 14 to -16. I think I need to focus when I'm playing aggression that we are within reach way more often than I think we are. I'm way too used to keeping afloat, and I probably should just do a lethal calculation on every turn. The thing is, like, there are some, unknown variables, because every time we lose the toughness, we draw a card, and who knows what happens. But because our deck has so many physical icons, and we have, like, at least 5 readies in our deck, every time we attack, it's like 5 damage with Yarnbjorn. So we probably should have sent it, like, 2 turns sooner. It's still fun to see what you can do to keep afloat, and, like, things were getting away from us. We're really bad at thwarting. But that's that. That's actually really, really cool. That was a massive damage turn. Everything else left in our deck. We really wanted to draw one of these on this turn, because it just means that we can maybe have one-shot the big guard minion into Enchantress, because we could have attacked, in theory, like, you could play 2 Separate Strikes in the same turn, I think, in this deck, which means the biggest basic attack you can do in this deck is 6/6/6/6 plus 3/4 plus 2. I think it's possible. It's going to be very hard to play 2 Savage Strikes, but it's technically possible within the same basic attack. That's a massive attack. Piercing overkill. And that's that. That was hard. That was actually a really interesting Enchantress fight. One of the more protracted ones I think I've played in a while. And with that, it's probably going to take us to what I would describe as the end of the stream. Hopefully you are doing well. Again, I've been a bit under the weather. This might have been a huge mistake. We'll find out tomorrow when my throat is worse than it was today, which maybe that's bad. But I really wanted to do something, not only because I look forward to Sundays, but of course we hit 1,000 subscribers today, which is definitely worth celebrating. So thanks so much. If you've been watching this channel, supporting this channel, if you just came here and found this place, welcome. If you want to subscribe, that helps. But it's incredibly appreciated. Just the response has been very, very, very overwhelming and kind. So thank you. We're relatively new to this Marvel Champions content thing, and it's just been absolutely lovely the whole time. Other things I want to say, what's going on this channel? We put up some gameplay. I'm going to respond to some YouTube comments just tonight, but we put up a gameplay recently where we played Nightcrawler and decided to never attack the villain and still worn the villain down. Unfortunately, it wasn't a great show of Excelsior, which is a really cool card in that deck. We just drew it too late, but I think everything else came together. As much as taking Captain America's shield is like a really good thing to do in a deck that wants to retaliate. Feel better soon. Thank you, Jake. Glad you're dropping in. What else? Yeah, I guess I wanted to shout this out. I shouted it out like casually through conversation, but I do want to shout, and I have a link into the description. I have recently, hold on one second, one moment. I've recently found this channel. It was attached to spoilers coming up this week, which is great. So if you want to see some, what are they called? Hercules spoilers. Stretch 22 is going to have something coming up this week. But Stretch 22 plays Marvel Champions entirely heroic mode, and just recently finished the quest of playing every heroic villain with a different heroic hero. And I played some heroic earlier this week. I was a bit unwell on some days, so I just was staying at home and like resting, and I played some Marvel Champions, and I tried playing heroic. For those who don't know what heroic is, the rules are you play on expert, but the only difference is that every turn you draw an additional encounter card. That's technically called heroic 1. You can play heroic 2 where you draw 2 additional counter cards, but just imagine they put a hazard icon on the villain and you played on expert. That's the only difference. And there's a video here talking about why you should play heroic, and it's interesting. It actually sold me on some parts of it. Last year was the year that I really started playing expert. The year before that, I was playing a lot of standard, and I play expert every once in a while. And then I looked at my stats, and I was winning like 90% of the time, 95% of the time. I play precons. That doesn't help. I always play the precons. But then once I was building my own decks, I was winning more often than not. So I'm like, I should stop doing this. I should just play on expert. So you want to lose. Like, this game is only fun if you lose it sometimes. If you're winning it all the time, there's no stakes, there's no tension. You do want to lose. On expert, I am winning about 3 in every 4 games. It depends on what scenarios we're playing against, how good the decks are. And sometimes you want to play something weaker against something stronger to get a challenge. But also there's some scenarios that I just don't play. So for instance, Rhino, I have never played Rhino. I haven't replayed Rhino in a really long time because Rhino is not only not that interesting, but not particularly difficult and very easy to like cheese a bit, especially like stun or confuse. Really, really goes far. So I was like, F it. I listened to what Stretch had to say, and I'm going to try playing Heroic, draw more encounter cards, see more of what the villain does, have a higher amount of pressure every turn, so it's harder to set up. You have to be more on tempo, and while setting up is still really important in Heroic, I played Heroic Rhino, and I had a great time. It was a really fun Rhino. It was like a difficult Rhino that was constantly fighting you. You had to like still play around Rhino. You saw more Rhino cards more consistently. It was awesome. So I played a couple games of Rhino. We did beat all of the Rhino games, and then I played against Heroic Claw, and I haven't beat it once. So my tracking chart that I've been using, I've redone it. I'll share the new one soon, but I have Heroic columns into that. My guess is we'll see Heroic on this channel maybe once in a while. I think it's probably alienating a lot of folks who already expert, might be outside of their wheelhouse. And the only reason I like to play on expert, well, because it's a challenge, but also allows us to show the sort of thought process we're taking. And if you kind of mimic that thought process, it works in standard. Heroic is slightly different because the way you have to deck build, you have to be a bit more precise. There's a lot more calculations of what cards are on tempo and on value. It's harder to play the fun cards that you want to play. I think that's one of the downsides of Heroic is that it looks like the card pool will get a bit more homogeneous. Homogeneous. But on the plus side, you have to play very clean. It's fascinating. So I played a couple Heroic. I went back and played Heroic Magog, which is something also Stretch did. And I played with Shadowcat. I actually played Stretch's version because I want to practice some Shadowcat. And Shadowcat versus Heroic Magog was, sometimes you just lose. Like if you just draw minions into gang up, you do just lose. And that's the problem with like having this constant surge in Heroic is there are some hands you just can't win. You just scoop and you say, I'll try again. Like sometimes you can scoop on turn 2. It just happens. But when it works, it's like, it does feel really good. It's very, very exciting. So Stretch is fun. Love his Heroic stuff. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm definitely going to watch more of this. I haven't watched enough. Hey, Yelenhorn, how's it going? I came in just in time for the final blow. Got to be better at keeping track of when you play. Sorry, Yelenhorn, how's it going? By the way, I think we're the only people in our Marvel Snap League doing anything, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to you. I got back into the game recently. But yeah, I usually stream Sunday mornings. We've been feeling a bit under the weather, so we try and delay this one. Anyways, I'm very excited to catch up on Stretch 22's back catalog. Link in the description. I think Heroic is something that we'll be dipping our toes into, but specifically I think like Heroic is going to be a way to play the Civil War heroes and have it be a challenge, because there are just some pieces of content in this game that are not that exciting because you don't see enough of their cards, let alone are a bit easy. And I think that's going to be a good spot to be in. So that's cool. Shout out to you did a lot of work on Stretch, so really excited to see more of that. That's mostly it. That was my recap of the last week. We're going to be showing on this channel relatively soon Shadowcat. Built a fun protection Shadowcat deck, that's for sure. Seems pretty good, pretty consistent. Otherwise, I don't know what's next. We're still waiting to play Synthezoid Smackdown. I think it'll line up relatively well with the new upcoming heroes like Wonder Man and Hercules. I think they're coming out in the next weeks or so. The problem is we're in Canada, so we don't know when we're going to get them. It might be months from now, so I'm not going to hold my breath for that. If you want to see more cards, there's a whole bunch of spoilers coming out, including Stretch 22, but there's a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the near future. This week, we're going to see almost all the Hercules cards, including the Nemesis set. So if you want to get spoiled, you can get spoiled. If you want to wait for the sets, they can't be that far along. They call Heroic players tryhards. Heroic players are just say get good. No, but this is the thing. It's like, I come from a get good background, right? Like I come from a competitive game background. I get it. But I am worried that a lot of my pet cards are just not going to be good enough for Heroic. And I do worry that like a lot of the Heroic decks have a pretty substantial overlap in the cards that they play. And it's only when your hero kit is so synergistic with the card, specific card that's like bad in other characters, but it's good in your character, that you are allowed to play in Heroic. It's just like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to help me explore more of the card pool. I think it's going to help me explore less of the card pool. And that's what I'm worried about. I think it's going to be a sometimes thing, not an always thing. But it's hard. Oh my God, is it hard? Just nonstop problems you have to deal with. Every turn is like a tense turn, and that's kind of cool. All right, I think that's mostly it. Links to both the decks, not only the deck that we based this on heavily, but the deck that I played is linked in the description. If you want to take a second to leave a like on this, if you want to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, all that sort of stuff really helps us grow. Otherwise, we might get some gameplay on in the middle of the week. Usually we put them up on Fridays. That usually makes some amount of sense, or we'll be back next Sunday. Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, Sunday morning, not 100% sure. So apologies. If you want to hit that subscribe or the notify button, I guess you'll know as soon as I do. Sorry about that. Anyways, thanks so much for hanging out. Stay warm if you're in some of the cold parts of the world, and we'll catch you in the next one, huh? I've gotten subs from just watching other MC streamers at 300 lol time to stream. Oh yeah, that's sick. People subscribe to folks that don't make content. That's interesting. I guess like social media platform, huh? Take care, y'all. Catch you in the next one.